Good morning, everybody. I am Mel Barrett.
I'm Rebecca Lavoie.
Welcome to Something's Off. We have a pretty packed episode coming up at you. There was a new hearing in the Kelsey Fitzsimmons family court saga, which is very interesting, I think. And then we also are going to be doing basically a part 2 of this Norfolk County DA's office FOIA dump that we still don't know who made the FOIA, but we have documents.
I have more of an idea now. I think it was Shacky and Emily.
Shacky.
Shacky. Yeah. I love him.
Yeah. So we have all these documents, and Rebecca has discovered something in these documents that may completely exonerate, finally.
No.
Karen Read.
Don't exaggerate. Don't exaggerate. But way to be hyperbolic, Mel. Come on now.
One of my favorite things about doing our show now is, like, you know how everybody was like, Rebecca, God, you interrupt Mel all the time, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. One of my favorite things to do now is to pick the most perfect time to start playing that little intro.
You cut me off.
Usually I'm cutting you off, but it's like, I feel like it's good. It's like,
it's funny,
you know.
No, I watched back up. It was funny, but like she said, exonerated Karen Read. First of all, ARCA exonerated Karen Read. She did not hit him with his car, etc. The whole evidence. I just found something interesting related to Coldplay, which I know I'm not the only person who's seen, but I did dig into it a little bit, and I'm excited to talk about it. I'm also excited to show you some of the wackier emails from the back half. So I went backwards. So I am done with half of my exhaustive review of this, and I went from back to forward, so I can show you some interesting, funny shit through page 1411 from the back. And I'm really excited about today's show as well.
Well, we do have some housekeeping right off the top. We've got a bit to talk about with housekeeping, and then we're going to get into it. First of all, good morning, everybody. Thanks for becoming a new member, Jody. Speaking of new members, we've got a pretty packed schedule coming up for the next few days. And one of those days includes an Are You Fucking Kidding Me? Members only AMA / a review of DTF St. Louis, which is going to be something that we do once a month going forward. But we are almost outside of membership. We're almost to 8,000 subs. It's been trickling in for the past few days. We're at 7,875 or something like that.
Like and subscribe, and share, and comment and like and share and subscribe.
And also one of the things that we're yes, that too. Oh, and also we have lists. So were we done with the grift? Before we are done with the grift, I want to say I figured out, so I had an anonymous package sent to me that had like 3 or 4 different items from my Amazon wish list in it.
Yeah.
And it was like the Liquid IV Sleepy Time drink mix, which I was really excited about. And then like, what?
Yuck.
You don't like it?
No, I don't like those hydrating drinks at all. I eat every time I try them. I was really sick when we were in on vacation in the Caribbean, and my friend had one of those like salty drinks. It was like pink lemonade. Fucking nasty. Ew. Oh, sorry.
Swear jar.
It's going to be a sweary day.
Yeah. Well, I love Liquid IV, and I would like for them to sponsor us. So if you're listening, Liquid IV, come sponsor us. And I will drink all the Liquid IV if Rebecca doesn't like it. I love it. So I got that, and I've been really, really, really wanting this thing, and it came, and it's the oil sprayer / pourer thing. Yep. I really have been wanting one. So that came, and then I got these 2 little espresso cups. They're not really cups to drink out of. They're the espresso cups you put under the espresso machine, which I don't have, but I'm very happy that it's going to be like manifesting an espresso machine, because now I have the cups. Yes. But it was our friend Sarah Carradine who sent them to me.
She's the best. By the way,
the
you
best.
are freezing and glitching a little bit for me.
I am.
People in the chat can tell you if that's happening for them too, but it might just be happening for me because my computer is so whack.
I'm not
Anyway,
touching anything. So,
okay.
but anyway,
Don't touch anything.
yeah. So I have gotten a couple of things off of my Amazon wish list, which really is amazing. I got the compression socks. And I can't remember who sent them to me. I wish I had I don't have the note sitting in front of me, but it was very sweet. Thank you.
I have
Jody,
not
was
yet
that
received
you?
my MacBook Pro, by the way, that I put on my Amazon.
Be careful. I was just reading an article about ordering Mac
I
products
know.
on Amazon.
I
Did you
know it
read it?
sucks. Yeah, I have read it. Yeah, it's not a good idea. I've
They
ordered AirPods
switched
and
out.
yeah, I
Yeah.
order AirPods. I've ordered like pens for my iPad, the styluses and stuff. I've ordered, but I
Yeah.
don't typically do that. But we have an Amazon list, so I might as well. My studio downstairs, we figured out the reason we're having issues down there, and that I can't tape this show down there because StreamYard is such a more like graphics heavy and memory
Oh, yeah.
hoggy software.
Yep.
It's actually our Lenovo computer is starting to perform poorly, and that's causing an
Yeah.
internet brownout issue. We have it sometimes
You
with
need to
reverse
get a
side.
Mac.
I need either a Mac or a new fancy gaming Lenovo, and I've put both on my Amazon wish list in case a rich person is fan of our show. Yeah, I don't expect it. By the way, my Amazon wish list is ridiculous. I have
Mine is too.
I've got some Taco Bell sauce on there, and I've got some like cheap stuff on there, but it's mostly stuff that like I just wish I could get but can't afford right now.
I put fluff on mine.
I just wanted to write it down. I just wanted to memorialize.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I was saying to you. I'm like, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write. I'm going to put the most ridiculous things that I just want. Because usually when I go shop at Amazon, it's for things I need. And I was like, what happens if you make a list of things you actually just want? You know what I mean?
It's like writing your wedding registry.
Yeah. So I did that. And so I put fluff on there. And for those of you from New England, you know what fluff is. And I used to live in Somerville, which is where fluff was invented. Apparently, we used to have a fluff festival. Do you remember that?
What's that?
The Fluff Festival in Somerville.
I knew about the Necco wafer situation that was like down there too. But like
Necco wafers, so gross. Blech. So anyway, yes, we have the Amazon wish list. We are almost to 8,000 subs. So go like the video and go subscribe and send it to your friends and post it on socials. But if you want to come into our members only lives, you have to obviously become a member. And also, what was I going to say about that? Oh, we're doing the ad-free members only.
Yeah. So we're putting our streams up afterward in an ad-free version. So if you remember like the $7.99 level or something, you can, if you miss this,
$5.99,
you can watch it without ads later. Congratulations.
Yes. We also have merch. Rebecca designed some new merch for the Barnstable Defense Diaries folks.
I didn't design it. Bethany Na designed it. And
sorry. I meant that you put it on a bag.
Yes, I made a tote bag. I'm going to be creating some new things. We're almost to our top like of what we can do there. So I'm going to go through, see what hasn't sold, maybe replace some of those things with some other things as we think of them. But we have some really good ideas for some fun merch. I'm very excited about the Barnstable tote bag.
It's a really great design. Also, did you?
I did ask Bob if he thought it was offensive that we made fun of their shitty pronunciation of every city in Massachusetts, and he's like, "Oh no, it's fine. We're honored."
Well, speaking of Bob and Allie, they're going to be coming on in a couple weeks. They are in Louisiana right now, and I am heading to Scotland next Wednesday. So after I get back from Scotland, they are going to come on. Yes, Fluffernutters. I friggin' love a Fluffernutter. I introduced my whole family here to Fluffernutters. The kids had never had peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwiches. And now they have, and it's changed their world.
I used to put them in the freezer. I used to make a peanut butter and fluff sandwich and then put it in the freezer for like half an hour. And then it would make it like real chewy. It was good. I mean, that was something I did when I was a kid.
I got to try that. I also wanted to share, this is something I'm so impressed by this. But one of our May-June Christianism, I'm not sure, May-June created this for us. She basically does like a collage when we do our members only, or I think maybe she does it on some of the other videos too. This is sort of a collage of everything we talked about the other night on the members only. And apparently she has made an entire coloring book of collages from our show, which she is sending to the PO box, and I cannot wait to see it. I absolutely am so impressed. I think it's so amazing. Mainly because look at the Lady Elaine. She's got a red Solo Cup earring on.
I know. I love the Bad Will Hunting. I kind of want to do
I
a
know.
wrestling bully face and Bad Will Hunting merch situation.
And the You Wrong and the Taylor Swift bracelet.
Yep. What does it say?
I mean, it's
Man,
just so good.
what is the Taylor Swift? What does the friendship bracelet say? I can't read it.
Smallest man ever lived.
Yes. Yes.
So good.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm really excited about that. One of our listeners made that, and it's great. I think it's great. What else? What else do we have for housekeeping, Rebecca?
You can always send us a tip in our Venmo or Cash App. That's always fun. But really, we're pushing memberships right now, and we're pushing subscriptions more than ever, because if we hit, I don't know, a ton of subscriptions, the channel will be more popular, I guess. I don't know how that works. Oh, I want to say special thanks to Will the Glarer for mentioning us on his show. We so appreciate your support, Will. I'm a big fan of your laugh, and and the fact that you both talked about us in your show and tweeted about us is very, very sweet. We really appreciate that.
Very sweet. Yeah, he's a good guy. I like Will.
Although I can't wait to have him on the show and ask him why again we're going to be added at for having him on the show. Tell us about all your criminality. Tell us about all your.
People get really pissy about him. He's an interesting character. I can't wait to talk to him.
People aren't perfect, and and friends of friends and people we meet on the internet. You can choose how to deal with them, or you can just get to know them. That's that's my whole thing. So anyway. Doesn't 10K get you a sign thing from YouTube if we get up to 10K subscribers? Oh my God, if we got a YouTube sign thing.
That would be so fun. I hope so. I hope that's true. Everybody say thank you to Amanda. Amanda does our chapters and she's amazing. And she's also possibly going to be booking some guests for us. We got to talk about that.
Can I just throw something else out there? One other thing.
Yeah.
I've gotten a couple of comments about our chat section at the beginning of the show. It takes your 20 minutes to get into what you're talking about. Dude, I watch other streams and the theme song is 10 minutes long. And then there's a whole really cute grift part that I don't not support. I think it's great. And you guys never complain about those streams. You only complain about us chatting. Do you not like to hear women talk? Is that the problem?
Maybe. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a lesbian. Who knows?
It's because you're gay.
It's because it's gay talk.
Stop being so gay.
It's gay talking over here. I know. I'm but you notice, I mean, it's so lame. And it's usually somebody who hasn't I don't know.
Ever interacted with the internet in any way?
No, I just think that they're bots, or they can't think of anything else to rag on us about. So they just pick that. It's so stupid. You know what I mean?
Well, they certainly can't rag on our hair because we have incredible hair.
Good hair. I mean, my hair's a little crazy today, but it's pretty good.
I got a little the humid rain weather wave going on.
Sometimes when I see the door to my pod, I think it looks like a padded room. This is a padded room.
It is.
I just realized I'm in a padded room. Yes. And I feel like when people drive by the garage and the garage door is open and this is open and they see the interior, they must be like, what the fuck are they doing in that?
It's her she shed. It's the world's shittiest, smallest she shed.
I don't think they think it's a she shed. I think they're like, are they hiding? Are they keeping someone in there? And I'm like, it's me.
It's your kidnapping room. It's like when you do abductions, where else are you going to put the person besides in there, right?
I know. Yes, exactly.
So when you're in Scotland,
don't micromanage us.
Yes. When you're in Scotland, I definitely will be doing one of my streams with my beloved husband, Kevin. I'm not sure we're going to talk about yet, but we'll figure it out. And I'm going to try to get another guest for the other one. And so stay tuned for that. I'm very last minute as planning goes. So just hold your hats. You never know what you're going to get.
There's a couple of other things that we've been tossing around that I wanted to talk about too, which is, I know. You know what I'm going to say.
It was my shower thought.
First of all, the schedule for the next 3 days is today we're doing this. Tomorrow, we're going to try something. I don't know how far we can go with it, but we're calling it footnotes. We're going to come on tomorrow at 3 p.m. and we're going to go through the footnotes in the defamation suit, which there are many of them. So I haven't quite figured out if we're going to do because a lot of it's Aiden's lives. And I think it's really important to like go back and see where this all kind of started. And also for people to familiarize themselves with, like, Aiden was reporting on the corruption, like early on. And so I think that's really interesting. So we're going to do that tomorrow. Monday, we're doing a double stream like we've been doing. So Monday AM, we're doing our regular Something's Off stream, depending on whatever's happening with our true crime news. And then in the evening, we're doing our first, Are You Fucking Kidding Me? Members only AMA/DTF. But Rebecca had a very cool idea, which I'm very excited about. Do you want to tell everybody about your idea, your shower idea?
Mel makes Rebecca watch things while she's drinking. Seems to be a popular format for this show. And I'm just thinking, like, are we going to run out of television appearances or like weird interviews that I pretended to watch but didn't, or whatever? It'd be easy to imagine us running out of things. And then I was thinking yesterday while I was taking a shower, what if Mel just had like a big pinwheel and randomly chose people's testimony or other moments from the Karen Reed trials and made me watch them again while drinking? That's what we're going to do. We're going to try it out.
Higgins' testimony, or Colin, or like Hank Brennan arguing motions with Alan Jackson against Alan Jackson.
I had a drink now, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
This is not alcohol,
so,
by the way.
I think we're going to do that. I think that's a lot of fun. And it's also a way to just like
revisit
maybe
the old
we're going to
hits.
discover new things. Okay, speaking of, I think that's everything, right?
Yes.
Okay. But before we get into the big Coldplay news, I wish we could
all
play
yellow,
the
guys.
song.
It's all yellow, and we can't play the song.
I wish we could play the song. We can't play the song because of copyright. We'll get a copyright strike.
Look at the stars. No, it's not that song. It's the other one.
No, it's not. It's
Fix You.
Fix You.
Which is, in my opinion, if you're not a huge Coldplay fan, which I'm like, I know they're very popular. They have a lot of popular songs. If there's one song that I actually put on my playlist and listen to, it's Fix You, which has it's like a very build up, like slow rolling orgasm song, sort of like Where the Streets Have No Name by U2, just kind of like starts and goes and builds and builds. It's really great. It's a great song. And it plays a very important role in the Karen.
5-minute song, actually. It's almost
depends on which version you listen to. I did some research on this yesterday.
That's true. There are 3 different versions. There's a radio edit. There's a bunch of, but
you are glitchy, by the way. Do other people in the chat, is Mel glitchy to you guys, or is it just me? Because I just want to make sure that it's not just me. Anyway,
I'm not seeing. Usually, if I'm glitching, I can see it myself, and I'm not seeing it.
Just me. A little Max Headroom to me, but it's just me. This computer also sucks.
Wow.
That's why I put you on my wish list.
Okay, Gen X. Rebecca, you have such an NPR voice. Well, that's because she is on NHPR.
Yes, I do a lot of fun drive pitching. See, it's not just me.
One glitch, a little.
Yeah, it's not horrible. It's just happening. Just so you're aware. You want me to tighten your cables later or something.
I have full bars, everything.
Don't touch anything right now. Don't touch it.
I'm not touching anything. Okay. Let's get into Kelsey Fitzsimmons first, and then we're going to get into the Coldplay of it all. So
lights will guide you home, Mel.
Lights will guide you home. So there was a hearing. There was a hearing. I think it was last Friday. Yes, it was a few days ago. And it wasn't the regular judge, and it wasn't a full trial for the family court. I suppose I should tell everybody, if you're not familiar, though I think most of our audience is familiar, Kelsey Fitzsimmons was the North Andover cop who held a gun to her own head and then was shot by a fellow police officer, one of her ex-partners. She was shot in the chest, almost died. This was over a custody dispute and a temporary restraining order that her fiance had filed against her, and her fellow cops showed up at her door and were about to basically take her entire life away from her baby, her house, her dog, everything. She'd lost her fiance, everything. And so she held a gun to her head and she was shot in the chest, which is, you're not allowed to do in Massachusetts. If you are a cop, if someone is holding a gun to their head, you're not allowed to shoot that person. She was shot. She spent 53 days in the hospital, and the state of Massachusetts decided to bring charges against her for attempted
No, assault with a deadly weapon. But they
that's right. No, they originally
they tried
it was
for more,
attempted, and the grand jury returned a no true bill, and then they came back with assault with a deadly weapon, and she actually spent many dozens of days in jail, and then was finally acquitted a couple months ago. During that whole time, she obviously has not been in any kind of contact with her child, who is only, I think, 18 months old, 14 months old
14 months old since June.
14 months old. Yep. So they've been going through family court to figure out custody and to deal with the temporary restraining order issue. So they had a motion session with a judge who was not the regular judge on this case, but the judge was great, and the judge was very
measured
and read up on this case, like knew the case pretty well.
And I love that she started that way. She started the hearing by saying, just so you know, I have read every piece of paper you've submitted to this court. So you only need to tell me things that are not in these papers. And I was like, oh, yeah, there we go. Let's go.
Yeah. Kelsey started a Substack and is posting her diary writings, Cassie said, and I don't think I can read them. I think they're probably too personal to me.
Can I address something that's in here too?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Hold on. Here it is. This one.
So
I left the Kelsey Fitzsimmons Facebook group. There are people with a very unhealthy attachment to Kelsey in this case over the internet.
Yes.
And they this is now in family court. This is a very sensitive matter.
Yep.
This is a situation where it's all about the kid. Everyone needs to just fucking lay off and let this be. People are nuts about this woman. They're obsessed with her. They're like, can we be paying her mortgage? Or can we be doing it? I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
She wants privacy. Leave her alone. If she has a defense fund, donate to that. But people write some wild things on the internet about this person. I find it very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that she's an incredibly attractive white woman.
Yeah, probably. That's probably right.
That's my opinion on it. But it's like, she's very attractive. She's beautiful, and she's very kind and sweet and personable. And she, is also stood up for herself. She also won, was acquitted, and she's trying to get her baby back. And it's, all of those things, I think, for people who, like Amanda said, have parasocial relationships via social media and some of these trials. I think that there's a lot of that happening. I think that if Kelsey were maybe a poor mom of color, I'm not sure this would be happening as much.
Yeah.
Which is sad for our society, but I think it has everything to do with the fact that she's an attractive white woman.
Right. And it's different than the Karen. Karen Reed was actively engaging with the media during her defense. So people talking about the things she said about losing her house, about that was, it's kind of fair game because Karen Reed put a lot of it out there herself. Yes. And, this is not a jury pool we're talking about now. This is not a matter of as much public interest. This is what would normally be a private matter between within a family going on. And yes, it is very public. There's a lot of interest in it. We are certainly interested in it. We're talking about it, but we don't know these people. We make assumptions about what they're like based on things that they've had their lawyers write and things that they say in court. And certainly we're more sympathetic to Kelsey seeing the behavior of Justin in the wake of what happened to her. But yeah, just, I want to say to some of these people, they're mostly women, you don't know her. Stop. You don't know her. Stop it.
It's not just women. There are some men who are weirdly obsessed with her. It drives me nuts. But yes, I agree. I mean, think about all the other cases, like Casey Anthony. People are weirdly obsessed with that case because it involves a child. Scott Peterson, Lacey Peterson, it's like there's a child involved. They lose their minds over it. But yeah, and Pimabo was saying that that basically we know too much. And I would agree with that. And one of the reasons why I wanted to cover the hearing and like what's happening in the family court is because the thing that I'm interested in is, and the judge picked up on this too in this last hearing, and it's that there are some hints of coercive control and parental alienation.
Yes.
And like Justin running to the court to get to be like in charge of the narrative and to like get ahead of everything by being in court. That's what I'm interested in here. It's like it's weaponizing this family court against a mother who had postpartum depression and stress.
That's right.
And so that's what I'm most concerned about. I don't really care. I have no concern whatsoever, and I don't even care about their personal shit. I think they both have issues. I think that it's okay to question the health and safety of where this child is going. But I really want to talk about the court aspect and the filings that Justin's lawyers made on his behalf and the pleadings. They're just they feel almost predatory. Predatory. Yeah. Did you have that feeling? Like, what's your sense about the filings that Justin made?
Well, both of their filings are kind of wild. But I will say the thing that was interesting to me is that, some of these nutty Kelsey Fitzsimmons fangirl people are like, why didn't she submit all this ugly stuff that we have in the public? Because that's not what it was for. That stuff was actually that was a PR push for the criminal case more so than this other thing. It's interesting to me that the judge, it's the judge's job that people I see are upset that the judge took things at face value. It's the judge's job to read documents and decide what to take at face value or not. It's fair game to ask questions about accusations he made in his filings, right? Mm-hmm. Kelsey's lawyer says they're not true. And the judge, just so you know, this judge in particular seemed to be taking that with equal weight to whatever it is that he put in his. But his, we talked about his motion on the show. It reads like he and his mom and sister sat down and wrote it together, came up with every anecdote they could think of that would paint her in a bad light or whatever, and laid it all out, and then the lawyers threw some legalese in there and then forgot to delete some things that were very not legalese. But the judge seems to understand, as we did, that there's an issue here. If he's claiming that she can only see her baby once in a while in a very supervised, environment in a special building that's designed for that, then why he felt safe with the baby while she was dealing with all this stuff or whatever. This is like the first, and also him saying that the parents weren't good to be supervised. Her parents were not appropriate supervisors. The judge called him out. Yeah. It's like, didn't they step up? Doesn't it say in here that you would call them when she would have a problem over and over again? So anyway, I think it's interesting.
I think, the judge was really very concerned, as any judge should be, that this 14-month-old child needs to bond with its mother, which means the child needs some actual time and space with the mother. Justin's team was pushing for this like sanitized, professional, observer, independent location that Kelsey would have to pay for, like by $300 a day or something like that, to rent this space where she could, you're frozen. To rent this space where she could spend time, like an hour or 2 hours with her child. The judge was like, that's not enough time. And also, I don't know, his motions seemed very manipulative to me. They were, and the lawyer, they were both being disingenuous. They're all being disingenuous in their motions. They're in the motions. They're trying to keep her from the baby. They don't want her to have anything to do with this child. They want her out of this child's life.
Not even on Mother's Day.
Not even on Mother's Day. In court, the lawyer's standing up and being like, "Oh, judge, we're all for reunification." And she's like, "Not as far as your motion is concerned."
That's the right thing to say, though. That's the right thing to say.
Of course it is, but that's not what they're arguing in their motion. So that's not what their pleadings are. So, so they wanted to severely limit access to Caden for like professional only visitation centers. They also didn't want the maternal grandparents to supervise visits because they supported Kelsey. And in ways that, quote, were not in their daughter's interest, end quote. And he thinks that the maternal grandparents cannot ensure the baby's safety during those visits. That's what he put in his pleadings. So, but the judge pushed back, which I really appreciated. And like you just said, you said this in your pleadings, that when you reached out to them while Kelsey was, either in prison or in the hospital, they stepped up, they helped, they did what grandparents should do. So what are you talking about?
Right.
And the judge was actually suggesting that in his pleadings, they were that it was parental alienation, and that he was attempting to cut the baby off from Kelsey's entire family, and that it was textbook parental alienation by alien, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
Because he was blocking Kelsey's communication, not updating her on medical issues like the surgery, and refusing to use the co-parenting apps. And then the judge cited the Angeloni case when she was talking about Kelsey's postpartum depression and other mental health issues, and saying that it doesn't automatically make a person unfit just because they suffered postpartum depression almost 2 years ago or a year and a half ago at this point.
Yeah. What's not great?
What's that?
For Justin. So this is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody sane looking at these set of facts would be concerned for this baby's safety. That Kelsey she used a firearm to attempt to shoot herself with her baby in the home during a police confrontation. This is somebody who has experience with guns or whatever, but like, granted, he does too. He's also a person who was a gun owner and all that stuff. So there are issues. You've got kids, you've got guns, you have previous volatility, right? It is very reasonable to say, and I think don't be mad at Kelsey's lawyer when Kelsey's lawyer suggests that supervised visitation is okay to make everybody feel comfortable with this, because from the outside, I think supervised visitation is really appropriate in this situation. I think she should have as much of it as she possibly can to start, but I understand it's not about being pro-Justin. It's about the fact that there was, in fact, a very heated and very volatile situation. And even if, I think her parents would be probably fine. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this, but like, I think that it is not inappropriate for everybody here to be pro supervised reentry into her parenting. I don't think that's inappropriate in any way. I don't think Kelsey necessarily thinks it's inappropriate. It might not be what she wants, but I think she probably understands. Her lawyers probably explained to her why it would be a normal. The problem is that the Justin's motions have elevated things to such an extent that he's trying to portray this as never being reparable, like never being somebody that can be unsupervised, never doing this. And the judge does not like that. The judges in family court, they do not like having to be asked to take sides. They do not like that. I mean, family court is nasty. Family court is ugly. Family court and it is nothing like, as someone said in the comments, it's nothing new to this judge. This judge has seen so much worse than this situation. She definitely has. And she knows what's going on. And if she's really measured and reasonable, and I know there is an order out, right? I don't know if we know what's in it yet. I saw that there was an order out as of yesterday. But like, it's likely to be as measured as she appeared to be in court. And when he tried to push back on the Mother's Day thing, that was a big signal that for him, this is not about what's best for everybody.
Vindictive. It's vindictive.
Yep.
And he's trying to alienate her. And I was thinking about this too, Pamabo. Pamabo said, Justin's taking a big risk. Caden will know all of this one day and might well resent it. I completely agree. He is not thinking about the future. He is thinking about the now. And at this point in time, if Caden only knew up until this point what had happened in his life and the choices his parents made, I think I would be pissed at my father for doing what he did. The temporary restraining order, all the stuff that he did that, exacerbated this whole situation. If I were, 20 years down the road, from baby Caden, I would be like, why was my father such a fucking asshole? Why would he do that to my mother? And I think that I think he really needs to start thinking about how his son is going to think of him and the choices that he's making as far as it, pertains to their kid.
He can't think that way because he's just thinking his son will only have my narrative.
But he's not going to.
No, I
that's the thing,
understand
he's
that.
not.
But this is the problem with divorce and separation and stuff around kids. Okay, I've been divorced. I know, and I know that you've been divorced, and I know that you're also have a blended family situation. So
Co-parenting.
Yeah. There is a thing when things are really bad where you can only imagine yourself being right, the other person being wrong, and you can only imagine that everybody sees what you see or will see what you see eventually or see it your way eventually.
Mhm.
I was very fortunate. I don't know what possessed me, but when I got divorced, I always thought of it as an extremely long game. And I hate to use the word game because game isn't the right word, but
I know what you
that's an
mean.
expression, the long game, where like my ex would say and do things that were to me horrible. And my partner would be like, you should do something about this. And I was like,
Mhm.
nope, there is
Yep.
no upside to
Right.
responding, no upside to fighting back, no upside to any of it. And I was right. I was absolutely right. I have a great relationship now with my ex. I have an amazing relationship with my kids. They remember that I was not in conflict with their dad. They remember it. And they, you know, there's just sort of this sense that like I was the reasonable one. I literally did nothing. And I wasn't like performatively reasonable. I just did nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the right thing to do in these kinds of situations when you have somebody who's so angry. And I think that's what the vibe that Kelsey's lawyer was doing in court was. And when I saw her lawyer in court, I was like, she's got it. She's got the right lawyer.
Yep.
And they're doing
Her
exactly
lawyer
the
was
right
great.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. I thought so too.
Yeah. And I felt like Justin's lawyer and Justin's team and Justin himself are doing the very wrong thing. Like they don't seem to understand that they are not right in this situation, and they haven't been right since the TRO. You know what I mean? Like he pushed this into court so he could have control of the narrative. And now here we are, and he does not have control of the narrative. And for him to be sitting here and sort of painting Kelsey as this like unhinged person and her family as these unhinged people when there's video evidence of him acting the same way, it's not helpful. Like I don't understand the cognitive dissonance here of him and his family.
He's surrounded by harpies who are telling him that he's the best boy and everything he can do is right.
He's such a good boy. He's
such a good boy. He's got a boy mom.
Such a good boy, Justin.
And a boy sister.
You're going to be the best daddy. Let us help you raise this baby. You're going to be the best daddy. Go fight fires. Go fight fires, Justin. Just.
Okay, so someone pointed out, yes, I know that technically the baby was not in the house when Kelsey pulled out the gun, but she did not know the baby was not in the house because she was upstairs. Also, just the fact that there's guns, like, not great. Yeah. Guns and people who have demonstrated an ability to take them, a willingness to take them out of the box in which they live. Like that's the part where if I was a judge, I'd be like, yeah, we need to make sure that everybody's healthy and safe and in a good place. If there are this many guns surrounding these people in the past.
You made the point that Justin is also a gun owner. Justin is also the person who took her gun out of the safe and laid it on the bed and just left it there. If they had a toddler, that would have been a life and death situation. He made that choice to just put a gun on a bed.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I agree with this. Anyway. I think that people really need to back off, stop being so parasocial, stop showing up, stop doing all this stuff because Justin could make the case that it's a circus around Kelsey and not a good environment for her to have the baby. And I think that that's absolutely right. People need to leave her the fuck alone.
Agreed. I also agree with this one. Toxic man enablement. Yes.
Boy, mom.
Oh, and David says hello from Edinburgh. And I just want to say thank you, David, so much. David emailed me a bunch of recommendations for my upcoming trip to Edinburgh. And I've put together an Excel spreadsheet schedule with all the reservations. But I am waiting, David.
And I don't even know who's co-hosting with me while you're gone. This is the difference between the two of us right now. She's losing her mind. She's like, I'll just stream with you. And I'm there. I'm like, no, you won't. It'll be fine. And if I miss one and there isn't one, it will also be fine. Like it's fine.
Listen, Lindsay has to work. She's starting a new job. She has to work while we're
on
Edinburgh.
vacation. You're going to be walking around town.
I have no issues. I love what I do.
You're going to buy yourself a kilt. It's going to be incredible.
I'm not going to buy myself a kilt. I might buy my plaid because you know my maiden name.
What's your maiden name?
Robertson, son of Robert. Robert the Bruce. So I am very much How
Looking
was
for
my
some
accent,
plaid?
David?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very much ready for some plaid. And I'm really excited about the food. Apparently, Edinburgh has really good food because there's some sort of a French influence. But so Lindsay has a huge sweet tooth. And I have found these two brunch spots that they're like, if you like waffles, Rebecca, like Lindsay does, it's basically like the way I think of it as, you know how those crazy.
I do like waffles. That's why there's a waffle maker on my Amazon wish list. Hint, hint, hint.
I know.
And some waffle mix.
You don't need waffle mix. Make your own.
I love the Stonewall Kitchen waffle mix though. It is baller. It's really good.
Oh man, other Mary B says I got to do Higgy in a kilt. Then maybe I will get a kilt. That would be funny, especially if the Wilbur happens again and they need a Higgy for the Wilbur.
You got to see if there's a Higgy tartan that you can show us.
Higgins. What was I going to say about waffles? Oh, so this restaurant that we're going to go to for brunch, it's basically like, what's the drink with the tomato juice?
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. You know how they have those Bloody Mary bars?
Yes.
The Bloody Mary bars where they put like everything, like a burger on top of a Bloody Mary.
Yes, yes.
This is the brunch restaurant that does that to waffles. And it's so exciting. The pictures are amazing. I cannot wait. We're also going to have like our anniversary dinner on this floating hotel boat thing. I'm really excited. And we're also going to take a tour of underground, of going underneath Edinburgh for a Mary Close. And I'm really excited about that. Okay. That's all I had to say about Edinburgh.
Duck and waffle? It's amazing. Someone says. Is it
no, it's not duck and waffle. It's called Cocoa something. I don't have it in front of me. Wait, yes, I do. It's called Coro Chocolate Cafe. And I'm really excited about it.
I just want to answer this question. Justin and Caden's living situation. The issue isn't a small house with lots of people. Like that, if that were the case, like there'd be no poor person who would ever be allowed to have a baby, or anyone who lived in a city would never be allowed to have a baby. The issue is, I think, whether or not that's the alienation going on, more than anything else. So,
yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add to the Kelsey Fitzsimmons hearing? I think that was about it.
Leave her alone, people. Stop talking about her weird on Facebook, because all that stuff could be clipped and used in the case against her. Stop being weird. You don't know her. Stop being obsessed and leave her alone.
Yeah. I don't have any interest in their personal lives. I am very much interested in a man weaponizing the justice system against his ex-partner and mother of his child. That part really, really, really bothers me. So I want to stay abreast of that. You okay over there?
That was very gay, what you just said.
Abreast.
No, fine. I just spilled some orange.
I was very gay what you just did.
I know. I just spilled some orange crayon on my lap. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. I just washed these jeans, but it'll be fine. All right. So we talk about some correspondence.
Let's talk about Coldplay. Let's talk about Coldplay.
Should we just get right into the Coldplay part?
Let's get right into the Coldplay of it.
So many other emails I want to show you, but I do have we have a guy coming at 11 to fix something in our house. So I got to be out well before then. So let's talk about Coldplay, shall we? All right. I'm going to cue this up. I got to get to the right page because I was going to start on a different page because I had a different plan, but whatever.
Well, you can go with your plan if you
Can I just show you one that I freaking love first? You're going to love this. So there are some people, like some concerned citizens / Twitter trolls, who constantly are sending tips and advice to the defense, to the prosecutors in the Karen Reed case, or just reporting from the neighborhood reporting from the ground things they think they should know. And there's some very funny instances of it, such as an email from somebody who watched Paula Prado on Vinnie Politan's show, watch an ex-juror from trial 1 on Vinnie Politan's show and sent a long email to the prosecution saying, this is what the juror said. So when you're picking your next jury, I thought this was useful to you so you could keep these things in mind, like stuff like that, like people like, or the amateur lawyer thing. But my favorite one, hold on, I'm gonna find it right now. Hold on. I got to go down. Hold on, 2-4.
So you did the correspondence backwards.
I'm doing them backwards.
So
and I'm
after trial 2.
Well, it's kind of out of order, but yes. I am mostly, I just hit Hank entering the chat. Hank enters the chat at around page.
There were like over 3,000.
About
emails,
14,
right?
page 1400-ish is where I have Hank enter into the chat with a very interesting conversation about the hairs. By the way, I love talking about the hairs, like the hair on the, Hank is like, I can show you at some point. Hank is looking for evidence that the hair, and he's like, "Is there a photo of the hair? Like, what's the deal with the hair?" And I'm like, Hank.
Well, do you
you're
remember
asking some
that?
surprisingly good questions here.
Do you remember that part in the trial when it was actually a reflection?
Yes, it was
That
not a
part
second
was
hair.
so. Alessi
So
was
good.
like, he really, really, really broke that open, and I thought, wow, these people are dumb.
They are real dumb. Hold on. I'm scrolling up. I was doing it yesterday with my 2 fingers on my mouse pad, which is a lot faster than using the stupid wheel. But I really want to show you this one thing that I was very amused by. Come on. I'm only 10 pages away now.
It's
Here we
okay. Take your
go.
time.
I'm so anxious for you to see it because it's so funny.
Are you putting it on the screen?
Yeah, of course I'm going to put it on the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Put it on the screen.
All right. I'm going to put it on the screen. All right. Share. I'm sorry that I have to like say what I'm doing out loud when I share the screen every time.
It's okay. I mean, there's a lot of steps you have to go through in order to share on StreamYard. Yeah. I wish there was an easier way to do it, but I'm sure that there are all those steps so that we don't accidentally share something we shouldn't be sharing.
Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm in the wrong thing. I shared the wrong thing.
That is so true, Montana. Do you remember that moment, everybody, when the expert, the witness, wanted to correct her testimony and Bev wouldn't let her? Do you remember that moment?
Say it again.
It was the I forget what her title was with MSP, but she was the woman who was there to take pictures of the vehicle and the hairs and all that stuff. And do you remember when she wanted to correct her testimony and Bev wouldn't let her?
Yes.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
Okay, hold on.
I forget her name.
Email. Come on. It's not letting me click on the thing I want to share. Come on. It's one. Okay. What is happening? Do
you want to send it to me?
No, I don't.
Okay, fine. Maureen Hartnett. Yep, you're right, Carrie. That was who it was. She was interesting because she was very adamant about her own testimony and the work that she had done. But when she discovered that it wasn't a second hair and it was a reflection of the hair, that must have been so hard to deal with, like in the moment on the stand.
Hold on. You know what I have to do? I get to give myself fewer choices here. Hold on.
Running on Calf said, "You're doing great, Rebecca. So happy I got to catch you, lovely ladies."
Oh, I love you, girl.
Yeah, don't.
All right. Every time I click on this window, it's not. What is happening? Like, okay, I'm just gonna relax.
Okay. Send it to me and I'll do it. I'll try it. I'm not saying I can do it better than you. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying there's something going on. Let me just. I'm going to save this photo. I'm going to save it as a photo. How about that?
Okay, great.
Trust me. You're gonna trust me. If it weren't worth it.
P.S. I'm 8 days smoke free.
Oh, congratulations. Okay, before you I put this up. I just want to read you the email that came around it. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
This is like one of my favorite things I found in the entire file so far. And I'm sure others have shared this already. And I apologize if you guys haven't seen this a million times. Okay. This is an email from, so there's somebody, True Crime Junkie J717, who's always writing in with all kinds of letters to, and I'm like, who is this? Kate Peter or whatever. Anyway, one of the things that they wrote in was, "This is a new low and it now disgusts me. I guess they're going to milk the cow as much as possible because they know it's going to dry up soon. Asterisk, shaking my head. Asterisk." You want to see what the new low is?
Hold on. This is an email from a crazy person to whom?
To Hank Brennan and the prosecution.
How did they get Hank Brennan's email?
Ready to see what disgusted them? Want to see what disgusted them?
Yep.
Free Karen Reed cookies.
Ugh. They have FKR cookies that are yummy. Ugh. Frosted Sugars cookies. Ugh.
Can you believe it?
These people. Can you believe it?
New low. I am disgusted and shaking my head. Like, this is the kind of shit that they are all about.
Ugh.
All right. I'm going to close this. I think I need to have fewer windows to choose from.
Okay.
For this to, let me see if this works now.
They actually sent the picture to Hank.
They did.
What does Hank care about that?
I guess it's disgusting. I don't know. Is it disgusting?
What's he supposed to do with that? Like, they don't understand.
It's not letting me share this
1977
PDF. Why won't it let me share a PDF, my friend? I know.
Is it too big? Is it too big?
Could it be too big?
Yeah. What PDF is it?
It's the correspondent. I just want to share the screen that shows it, not the actual file. Isn't it weird? They won't let me show the window that I have the PDF. Like it keeps
Tell me
showing.
What page. Tell me what.
Well,
page.
I'm going to be turning pages. That's the issue. I need control.
Oh.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
I got.
Did you?
And every time I click on it, it disappears.
Did you see the database? I'm probably.
I got it.
Okay.
I'm good. So now if I add this, you can see. Great. There it is. Great. I'm in now. Okay, great.
Okay, good.
So do you want to talk about Coldplay? Yes or no?
I want you to
all right.
Tell us your story and be comfortable telling us what you're telling us.
So I was going through this and I got to open my other notes now. I have very interested in looking at the original reports because the reason the original reports from Aperture and ARCA and Jessica Hyde are in here because they were attachments to emails. So this is all email correspondence with attachments. So for instance, there are hundreds of pages of it that are just transcripts from the Body in the Snow series because they wanted transcripts of all 5. There's hundreds of pages that you can just skip through. It's literally just transcripts of Body in the Snow. There's all sorts of shit in here. There's tons of motions in here that we've already seen and already read, and for some reason in this version are redacted, which I really love. Like the mega motion to dismiss thing was that like robust motion to dismiss, what are they, full-throated? Is like.
Wait, can I say one?
Sure.
One thing that was redacted. Sorry to interrupt you. One thing that was redacted that I was like, why is this redacted? Do you remember? So the video, I went through the videos while you were going through this stuff and I didn't really find anything new, but the video when Karen is sitting in custody in the station with Yuri.
Yeah.
And she says, we're all in on the same joke, right? That one.
Yeah.
So the video is from the trooper who was the arresting vehicle. So it's his body cam. And Karen is sitting on the other side of the computer. It's not Yuri. I always thought it was Yuri sitting at the desk with the computer.
Yeah.
Yuri's sitting off to the side. In the court footage, like when they play this video in court, they don't blur anything. So the whole computer screen and the cop's phone and everything is not blurred in court. But for some reason, in this footage that has been released through the FOIA, it's all blurred. And there's one point where the trooper's phone goes off. It's like sitting on the desk next to him and he covers his body cam and looks at his phone. But there's a moment right before he covers his phone that you can see everything on the phone. And I just haven't been able to like zoom in enough to look at it. But if you want to if anybody out there wants to have a fun little task, go and try to zoom in on that phone and see what's on the phone. But yeah, they redacted, they blurred for this FOIA, but they didn't in open court. And none of it makes sense. And it's probably Colleen Crawford again.
Yeah. Well, Colleen Crawford, as we've learned from page 1431, is extremely comfortable with editing materials.
Oh, yes, she is.
So I was reading Jessica Hyde's report, and Jessica Hyde has a parallel report to like Ian Whiffen and to like Richard Green and whatever. And of course, Jessica Hyde is the witness who came in, who was basically brought in to be the second witness to corroborate that Jen McCabe could not have made the 227 search. And she went that whole restaurant analogy that was so freaking weird. But her report also includes John O'Keefe's phone analysis as well. And so I was looking at that and I'm like, this is interesting. I'm curious to see. But there's something in here that I remember something coming up at trial that I will mention, but I don't ever remember this specific thing coming up at trial. And it caught my eye. And then there's 2 places it's referenced that I want to show you. So this is John's music phone activity. So if you look here, it says music. Okay.
Can you remind the audience who like physically Jessica Hyde is?
Jessica Hyde is the woman. She's Orthodox. She has a head covering and she couldn't testify on Friday. And she has a very, she was the one who every time the defense would ask her difficult questions, she would look at Hank and apologize. I'm sorry.
Right.
Or she'd look at him. And she's also the one who in her emails to the prosecution, which are in here, she basically says, Alan Jackson keeps trying to call me and I don't worry, I didn't talk to him. And they're corresponding with each other. And the prosecutor's office is like, this is weird because the expert for the other side.
He's saying it's weird.
Right. But they're also saying that this is like, there's something about it that's weird to them too, because there's no reason why one side wouldn't talk to an expert the other side hired, because that's like, it's not uncommon, right? And it's nothing illegal about it, uncommon.
Right.
But
she's like, this is very out of the ordinary. She's also the woman who turned to the jury and would put on these very theatrical explanations.
Yes.
She is also the woman that Turtle Boy.
She was a real pick-me, in my opinion.
Yeah, she was, in my opinion, too. I mean, I don't like her as a human being. Turtle Boy tore her down and mislabeled her as a Muslim and was being
and also said some Islamophobic and bad things at that time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and
which I'm not afraid to say out loud. Yes.
No, you called them out on that, which I appreciate. I mean, that was fucked up. Thanks for becoming
we don't agree on a lot of things ideologically.
True. Okay, back to it. Sorry.
All right. So I noticed this note. The phone recorded playing Fix You by the band Coldplay. The music played intermittently from 12:14 a.m. through 12:29 a.m. as indicated by artifacts in both. And then this is like the two streams. Okay. So this is the first chart that shows all the times that Coldplay was playing and not playing. Okay. So this is, 12, 14, 36 is when they're in the car, for 38, 1836, 1836, etc. 29, 44. So this is the interesting part here. Okay. I am going to scroll down now to the more interesting chart, which basically overlays Jen McKay, all the relevant artifacts on John O'Keefe's phone, and the Coldplay is interspersed throughout this. So let's talk about timing, shall we?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Coldplay starts playing here at, where's my Coldplay girl? Okay. Coldplay starts playing here as 14:36. This is
12:14:36.
12:14:36. I'm sorry. I always just use the minutes. Okay.
Right.
12:14:36. Well,
12:14 a.m.
Correct. Okay. So put the U2 comment, put a pin in that, because that doesn't matter right now. Okay. Okay. So put a pin in that. So 12:14:36.
Tell everybody what you're talking about that doesn't matter right now, because the people who are listening can't.
Someone has a comment that says Karen said she was listening to U2 when she was in the car. Don't worry about that right now. I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about something else. Okay. So everyone stop interrupting me in your chat. The other thing I could do alternatively is just not look at the chat while I'm explaining this to you. Okay.
Yeah. Don't look at the chat. Just focus.
And I just want to be clear that aside from doing some research and asking one friend who works in technology, the rest of this is purely me looking at this and coming to some, not conclusions, but ideas around what happened. What
basically solving the case.
No, stop it. Not solving. Literally not that. Stop saying that. Okay. So we know there's some incoming calls from John O'Keefe and incoming messages that are coming in at this time while they are driving to 34F. Okay. 34F. Okay. So here's one 12:14:31. And then here's one 12:14:36. Apple Music built-in receiver, Fix You by Coldplay. Now, I am curious about the difference between, do you see here how it says built-in receiver and here how it says speaker?
Yes.
All right. I was very curious about those two things. And I did some research and asked a friend who works in tech and said that's absolutely what it could have been. But this is not a definite, but the built-in receiver can mean two things. It could mean that your phone is accidentally rerouting your music play to your ear hole instead of to the speaker in the phone. Okay.
Okay.
The other time it clocks as built-in receiver is when it's connected to a Bluetooth device. Whether or not it's playing through that Bluetooth device or ready to play through that, it might say built-in receiver then. So to me, that is more likely than your phone all of a sudden being wacky and playing a song through the ear hole. Okay. Which does sometimes
when
happen.
It's connected to the car.
But we all know how sometimes everyone who has Bluetooth has experienced this. Bluetooth gets confused and your phone gets confused with Bluetooth. So if you turn on your car with multiple devices, if you are playing something and then you also have an AirPod in, doesn't know where to, it just sort of messes up or whatever. But anyway, so at this point, 12:14:36, it appears as though Apple Music is playing Fix You by Coldplay from John O'Keefe's phone to, it could be to the Bluetooth speaker in the car. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Incoming call, same time, 12:14:36. All right.
Jen McCabe.
Right after that incoming call, Fix You by Coldplay plays for 2 seconds. It does not say whether it was built-in receiver or speaker. See that?
Okay. Yep.
And here it says Apple Music speaker Fix You by Coldplay. So, and that played for, it says 12:14:38. And then it says it played for 3 minutes and 58 seconds. Okay.
And the song is almost, well, one version of the song is almost 5 minutes long.
Right. So anyway, there's a couple of things that could have been happening here. She doesn't show it going back to built-in receiver again. So we can assume that potentially the song was playing through because the phone call interrupted it. And you know how sometimes that phone call, because I've experienced this myself too. If I had been listening to music, I could, like earlier today, but I'm not currently, and then I get a phone call and then I hang up the phone call. If I have my earpiece in, sometimes it will just like assume that I want to play the thing I was playing last and it'll just fire up again, right?
Yep.
So what could have happened here was the incoming phone call triggered the music replaying, or it replayed on purpose. Maybe speak out of the speaker. But if it's out of the speaker, it might be like his phone is silent, but the music is continuing to play. It could be that.
Sure.
Or it could be that it played through its speaker. Or it could be that Jessica Hyde, because she doesn't indicate here where it's playing, we don't know. Okay. So fast forward. No more Coldplay. Coldplay plays for 3:58. Looks like that's the end of Coldplay, which is why I sort of side with maybe it was playing on his phone and he wasn't actually listening to it. All right. Okay. But at one point it was connected to her Bluetooth because we saw the receiver thing up here. If in fact that's what this built-in receiver indicates, it also could indicate again that it was accidentally playing out of the ear hole and not connected to Bluetooth. But I think it's the latter because I've been in a car. I've been in a modern car and that's how it works. Okay. So let's go forward. We know this is incoming messages to him from Higgy, for instance, like, you come in here, whatever, all that stuff. Oh, my, hold on. Give me 1 second. My computer flashed. I'm telling you, my computer sucks so bad. That's where this
Will's here, and he said John's taste in music was almost as bad as Karen's.
As we said earlier, if there's one tolerable Coldplay song in my mind, it actually happens to be this one. I don't know why. I think I'm just corny like that. Hold on, my computer is glitching, so I'm just gonna hit remove for a second. Hold on. I don't want to stop.
Lights will.
You see how this happens? I know, music break.
Home.
My Adobe Acrobat is not responding. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
Your bones.
Sorry, I'm going to have to reopen this again. It's going to be a whole fucking thing.
Try the program. Are you singing the song while you're trying to
fix your problems? Yeah. Yes. So let me open that again. This is very important. I'm sorry. I literally called her. Can I just say
how ironic is it that they were listening to that dumbass song at this moment in time?
Would you explain why that's dumb? Why that's ironic?
Because, obviously they wanted the other person to change so much. And that song is about fixing somebody else.
That song is about trying to change somebody who's not fixable. Yes.
Right.
Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and share that again.
Will, you quit smoking too, brother? It's been 8 days. I am freaking the fuck out. I hate it. Here's the problem. I really enjoy smoking. I'll be honest with you. Like, cup of coffee and a cigarette. Love it. Have a conversation sitting outside of like a cafe, coffee, friend, cigarette. Love it. I hate this. I hate that we cannot come up with in this society a healthy alternative, because I really enjoy smoking.
Listen to the vaping fix. It's actually healthier for you than smoking, even though people might think it's not. Okay. All right. So here we are again. Coldplay. Is this song in everybody's head right now? It sure is in mine. All right.
Yeah, because I was just singing.
This is the part that struck me as interesting. I have long contended that this little note right here, see, last use of Waze at 12:20:08. So this is like when they're pulling up to the house, right? Obviously, people in the house don't know they're here yet. You come in here from Brian Higgins. You come in here. You come in here. You come in here, right? So they're either very close or they've pulled up. This is when they have arrived at the house. 12:21:10. 80 steps, duration of 191.2 seconds or whatever it is. Okay. All right. This is when they arrive. I have always believed and speculated, granted, this is my theory, my opinion, that whatever happened to him happened almost immediately after he arrived. Because I think it may have happened in the garage, I don't necessarily think that people inside the house knew at 12:22, whatever, that something had happened in the garage. I think they were either notified or something, or one of the men came in and said something and whatever happened. But I think it happened right away. All right. So now here we have the 12:21, 10, 80 steps. We have 2027 of Jen McCabe saying here to John O'Keefe's phone. I believe at this point, potentially, Jen McCabe had not yet been asked to do anything.
No.
Or I don't know. Who knows? I do know that Jen McCabe called him again at 12:29:36, and that call was picked up and lasted for 7 seconds.
Yep.
I believe that Jen McCabe's call was picked up by somebody who was with John, who saw an incoming call and picked it up, went like this, maybe said something real quick and hung up the phone. Okay? Because you do not need somebody's face to pick up a call when the phone is ringing. I know that because I picked up calls on my husband's phone whenever it rings. Okay? So that's what I think happened. But the interesting part is right here. We know that music gets triggered on John's phone when he hangs up the phone because it happened earlier in the car. He got an incoming call, hung up, music started to play, as happens with phones because they get fucking confused when they're connected to Bluetooth. All right?
Yep. And I have another question about this Bluetooth situation here too, but go ahead.
Yeah. Are you going to ask about the Bluetooth in the house? Because I am too.
Yep.
But that's I also have thought about it. So she is the incoming call. As soon as this incoming call ends at 29:44, built-in receiver, Coldplay starts playing again. Okay. All right,
no longer in the car.
This one, no. Okay. So this coincides with the call that was picked up for 7 seconds. Okay. The 12:29:44. So incoming duration, call ends 12:29:44, Fix You by Coldplay. It doesn't say built-in receiver or anything here, but it does say 7 seconds later, the duration of 7 seconds. See, call comes in at 12:29:44. It ends at 12:29:53, and Coldplay starts playing just as it did before on John's phone through the speaker, which I don't believe was actually playing out loud. Or if it was, I mean, that means they were listening to Coldplay in her car through his iPhone speaker, which seems.
Wait, why is the screen black?
Because my computer sucks.
Oh. So yeah, the music is coming from John's phone. So
it's coming from John's phone.
John's phone when he was in the car with Karen. It was playing through the Bluetooth. A phone call came in. It might have dropped. It might have gone back to his phone for a second, and then it went back to the Bluetooth. When John gets out of the car, it stays connected to the Bluetooth for I don't know how many seconds, right? Like how many seconds?
Well, this is why I don't think they were actually listening to the Coldplay in the car. I think it was just playing in the background on his phone.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. All I know is that the phone is intermittently connecting with her car Bluetooth and then getting confused again and going back to speaker play. Okay. And if his volume was off on his phone, you wouldn't hear it. Was because this happens to me all the time where I'm playing Spotify. For me, it's usually embarrassingly. It's my playlist that I play at night of brown noise from an airplane cabin so I can sleep. Like very often I look down during a meeting and it's been playing all day on my Spotify on my phone. I haven't heard it because my speaker's off. All that stuff doesn't matter. What matters here to know is that when he gets incoming calls, it seems to trigger the music play starting again after the incoming call because the phone is like, oh, we're doing something again. Like I've had phones behave this way. Like they get confused. So
I'm sorry. Let me interrupt you just really quickly because we have a douchebag in the chat. Hey, Dan, why are you fucking arguing with everybody about what their experience is about medical school and smoking and shit like that?
Just go ahead.
That's not what we're here to talk about. Yeah, just leave or.
Oh, I'm talking about smoking. Yeah. Go ahead and just take him out.
He's just being a dick. Okay,
go on YouTube and take him out. Okay.
Buddy.
So this is the part that's interesting to me to get back where I was. I hope my screen doesn't go black yet. Do you see why I have computers on my freaking wish list? All right. So Fix You by Coldplay, duration 9 seconds. So this is after the incoming 7-second phone call. All right. Fix You by Coldplay, 9 seconds. Does not say whether it's built-in receiver or speaker, but it does say that after this point, it flips again to speaker, meaning it's either playing out loud from his phone, which I don't think it is because whatever, or it's playing in the background, but he can't hear because his volume is down. All right. More messages from Jen. Pull behind me. Pull behind me. These are the suspect ones, in my opinion. But let's just leave.
Wait, let me ask you a question though for a second.
Yeah.
So if at 12:31 Jen is texting "pull behind me," does that mean that she can still see Karen's car?
I believe not, and here is why.
Okay.
Because incoming call from Jen McCabe. Incoming call from Jen McCabe. Apple receiver. Fix You. Incoming call from Jen McCabe that lasts 7 seconds. All right. After that call, Fix You by Coldplay then triggers again by built-in receiver, because it says it right here at 12:29:44, built-in receiver. And then at 12:29:53, with nothing interrupting these two things, it switches back to speaker, which tells me, because it switched from built-in receiver to speaker, that John's phone disconnected from Karen's Bluetooth in that moment.
At 12:29.
At 12:29:53, it switched from built-in receiver to speaker, meaning playing on his phone or from the background of his phone. And do you see here, in every other instance, there is a phone call that's made that switch happen, or some other reason that switch has happened. Here, it's 12:44, Fix You by Coldplay, 9 seconds. 12:29:44, and then 12:29:53 switches to speaker. I have always believed this is when Karen Reed drove away from the house.
And she arrives and connects to John's Wi-Fi at One Meadows 6 minutes later. 7 minutes later. 7 minutes later.
6.5 to 7 minutes later. Yes, which is a reasonable time. Every other time there has been a switch of source of that song for either from Bluetooth to speaker, speaker to Bluetooth, etc., has been because an incoming phone call happened or some activity happened on his phone. There's no activity in his phone during those 9 seconds, except for the fact that that it switches to speaker. So I believe personally that Jen McCabe made this call, 7 seconds, whatever. It switches to speaker because she is no longer there. Because you know what else is no longer there after this at all?
What?
Coldplay. This is the other reason why I believe this is when she drove away. Because you can say, you're saying it was triggered by phone activity. You're saying it's not triggered by phone activity. Which is it? The bottom line is this 12:29:44 and 53 note of Coldplay. There is no more Coldplay after this. None.
Tony is saying, is Coldplay his ringtone? No, it
played for 3 minutes and 48 seconds. It says Apple Music. It says Apple Music is the source on the and this and now. This is all keep in mind, this is all Jessica Hyde's analysis, okay? So Coldplay stops after 12:29:44. I believe that's when Karen drove away, and the phone then realized, okay, we're done. Like, we're good with Coldplay now. Like, the phone is like, okay, that I can stop switching sources now because the place that I'm trying to play it to is no longer available to me. Anybody who's had Bluetooth or had earphones in or had whatever knows that the phone will get like real wonky. But to me, the most notable thing is that there is no longer a connection to her car after this point. And if you're going to say, well, he had a playlist going, blah, 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 blah. And if every single time it disconnected, it went to speaker, et cetera, then why wasn't a playlist continuing to play after she drove away? It's because the phone was being triggered by its connection to the Bluetooth that it was playing, because that's what happens. And when she left, the thing stopped playing and never started playing again. So I believe that I am comfortable saying that at 12:29:53, she was far enough away from his phone where it disconnected for the final time from Coldplay and went back to his speaker and then never appears playing on his phone again. So the music was either turned off on his phone or it just stopped playing after it went back to that speaker.
Will you page back up to before 12:29?
Sure.
So So when are you suggesting or thinking that John got out of the car?
Oh, he got out of the car way back here. He got out of the car
At like
at the steps.
12:14?
No, at 12:21.
So 8 minutes before, that would make sense.
Yeah.
So 8 minutes before, he takes 80 steps. Is that right? Is that the 80
Yes.
steps?
Yes.
Heading probably toward the garage or that little side door that would
This,
go
by the
to
way,
garage.
is why I think something happened to him right away. Because now we have 8 minutes with no steps.
8 minutes with no steps, and then the phone is picked up at 12:29, which is
The
what you're
phone is
saying.
picked
Like
up at no, the phone isn't picked up until
12:29.
No, there's more steps. There's more steps here.
No, but Jen calls him at 12:29, and that's when he picks it up for 7 seconds. It's right there.
Somebody
12:29:44. That's what I'm saying.
Somebody picked it up.
So if at 12:21 he gets out of the car, he walks 80 steps into the garage or into the family room, wherever
Correct.
he ended up.
Correct.
And then something. So what are you positing happens when he goes through the door? Like what? Because this is the part that I want to understand a little bit better. Like I want to figure out like what happened when he walked in the door.
Okay, it's stupid. Whatever happened was definitely stupid. In my head, it's he walked to the 80 steps, the door to the garage. I have feelings about the garage. I long have, because people are like, it's in the family room. Everybody saw whatever. That to me is way less likely that they would come up with the ability to be so calculated so quickly, because I think it was the people in the garage who were coming up with stuff real quick, and that Jen McCabe only got clued into this a little bit later.
Yeah.
So like I'm talking like 15, 20 minutes, half an hour or whatever later, not like, hey, Jen, you got to look for John's phone because he's dying on the floor and Karen's out there. It was not, I do not believe it was like that. Seems so unlikely to me. So I think that he walked up to the house and maybe the dudes are in the garage, maybe some combination of Brian, Colin, maybe even Chris in the garage. They're having a little chat up about what a piece of shit Karen is for fucking around with Higgins while she's with John, and then on them all being in that bar and then her doing nothing or whatever. They're hot under the collar. I believe whatever confrontation happened there had already started at the bar. I believe that John knew that they were hot and he was just like, whatever, probably didn't care. Went in, they said something to him. He may have done a little, there may have been like a little like attempted aggression. The dog either jumped on him right away or somebody punched him right away. He fell. The dog was involved because the dog was in the garage because the dog doesn't like people and there was a party happening in the house.
And also, we think that some of these people might have been smokers. We know Higgins was a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And so
do we know that for sure? How do we know Higgins was a smoker?
I read it.
I read it on the internet. It must be true.
No, I don't think I read it on the internet. I read it somewhere in files, I thought. But anyway, I'm assuming that somebody in this group was a smoker, which means they're either in the garage or they're outside,
or they're just gossiping. They don't want to talk about this in front of the women, the little women in the house. They're wiping the counters. They just want to have like their man time. Can you fucking believe that bitch and what she's doing to Higgy, our friend Higgy here? John needs to know. John walks in. It's like, hey, you know that your girlfriend's a slut. Boom, boom, dog. That's it. I think it happened right away. The absence of any Apple Music Coldplay playing after that 29, 40, 53 moment tells me that that is when she drove away from the house. That's what it tells me. I ran this by somebody I know who knows tech. They said that absolutely could be it. It wasn't like, oh, that's what happened. Obviously, we can't know. But I believe that is the signal that she left at 12:53. And I believe, at 12:29:53, and I believe that everything that happened after that, including their stupid text streams, including their key cycle stuff, which makes no sense at all.
Because and you know what? Okay.
Can I remind people why the key cycle stuff is bullshit?
Yes, please. Go ahead. I know.
They determined that 75% depression on her reverse, on her gas pedal while she was in reverse happened during a certain key cycle. The way that they determined it was that key cycle was by, we heard this at trial, I'm not making this shit up, was by looking at the mileage of the car when Trooper Paul examined it and then subtracting all of the trips that they knew that she had taken and looking at potential key cycles that could have matched up to those trips, right? She drove to John's house after going to 34 Fairview. Then she drove to Jen McCabe's house in the morning. Then they went back to John's house. And then she went back to 34 Fairview. Then she went back to John's. Then she went to her parents in Dighton, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
They are not taking into consideration any other driving she could have done in that period of time.
Tow truck. Or the tow truck driver turning the car on and off and on and off and on and off.
That's why I believe that's when I believe that the 75% decompression on the gas pedal, compression on the gas pedal happened. It was in reverse, was when they were putting it up on the tow truck. Because we know, like when you go on a tow truck, there's this thing where you're being pulled, but you have to put it in reverse so it will actually go. And and it's like it was in the snow, so it's getting. That totally makes sense to me. But they using the mileage to go backwards to guess the key cycle, because they matched key cycle up with mileage in the infotainment, is the least scientific, nonsensical way to do that. It makes zero sense. Makes absolute zero sense. So anyway, no, she did not put her foot down. I'm sorry, this is not right. So the 30,
wait, what?
She didn't. Someone says this was the 3-point. I do not believe this, because you do not press your gas pedal down 75% when you're making a 3-point turn. You just don't. It's
not like in enough snow to track a cat.
So I have a fancy car, like Karen had a fancy car. My car's not as fancy as Karen's, but it has a thing where when you put it in reverse, you can do a backup assistant where it will back up in the same path that you drove in. It's very convenient for someone who has a really long driveway, or if somebody has a garage like mine that you drive into that's super narrow and you don't want to like hit the garbage can on the way out, you like put the reverse thing on, it reverses automatically. But you have to put your foot on reverse pedal to do that. It's just guiding the car. When you go faster than like 3 miles per hour, which is barely touching the pedal, it's like slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. So I have driven backwards at max. I've tried it in my car. I went like 10 and I thought I was going to die. I mean, anybody who tries this, anybody who has tested it and said, oh, I was able to go backwards at 26 miles per hour and control my car, they are lying to you, unless they're like a freaking NASCAR driver, which I don't even think those cars have a reverse pedal. But anyway, they're lying. They're absolutely lying, because when you feel like you're going to die if you go faster than like 8 miles per hour. Anyway, so I believe this cutoff of Apple Music being attached to Karen's car indicates that that's when she drove away, because Apple Music is never mentioned again. Now, if Apple Music is there, they're not showing it. And why wouldn't they show it? Because the best evidence that Karen Reed hit him with her car and left him in the snow would be if his Apple Music continued to play all night until his phone died.
Yes.
And that did not happen. And if it did happen, they didn't put it here. So why wouldn't they put it there if that's what was happening?
Yes.
So that's my Coldplay
theory with you. Crime. And I'm so thankful that you finally solved the case. And
I didn't solve anything. This report is so meaningful to me because Jessica Hyde's reports are designed to have the most favorable stuff for the prosecution in them.
Well, and let's not forget that the data that Jessica Hyde and Ian Whiffen were working on was not complete data. Like that's part of the biggest problem here, is that they didn't receive. Hold on, let me get this right.
This is John's phone though, which I believe was complete. I thought John's was complete. Well, it doesn't John's
matter. May have been complete. But I'm talking about. I'm morphing into Jen McCabe, the 227 search, because the issue is that. Hold on a second. I gotta find
my whole thing is that I'm surprised that this didn't come up at trial. I never heard the words Coldplay at trial. What did come up at trial, and I believe this was the defense potentially like thinking about this.
Yeah,
was the Bluetooth connection inside the house inside 34 Fairview. But I think they were talking about activities on Jen's phones. But people like maybe they're asking about Bluetooth because they want to know if that's where it was. In order to connect to a Bluetooth speaker, you have to pair your phone to that speaker. And he had never been to that house before, so his phone would not be paired to that speaker.
Right.
Your Bluetooth doesn't randomly start playing on a speaker it's not paired to. That's not how it works. Right. If it worked that way, kids at school would be playing pranks all the time. Like a kid in my kid's school did during a whole school assembly where he was also on AV and he turned on his phone and it was playing hardcore porn during the assembly throughout the speaker system in the auditorium. Kids will be doing that shit all the time. If you could automatically connect to a Bluetooth, you can smart play from your phone. You can screen play or whatever, but there's like, there's a reciprocity between devices that has to happen. He clearly had reciprocity with Karen's car because it was connecting, it appears, to Bluetooth during their drive, the internal built-in receiver. And then it would switch to speaker after he got a phone call because the phone is like, what the fuck is going? Because he was probably talking on the phone like this or whatever. So, or he was talking on the phone in the speakers and the music started playing in the speaker. Like that makes total sense to me. Yeah. I don't necessarily even know the music was audible when it played on speaker through his phone because the phone speaker could have been all the way down. But there is a possibility that they killed John. Karen's waiting out there for a while, listening to whatever she wants to listen to in her car. Because by the way, 2 phones can be connected to Bluetooth at the same time in a car. I know that because it happens in my car all the fucking time. One is for phone, one is for music, whatever. And there's a scenario in which, and this is the scenario that like is grossly like darkly funny, where John is lying there dying and all these men are forced to listen to Coldplay like on speaker.
I mean, they were also listening to It's Raining Men. So.
After she drives away and it's like, how the fuck do we turn this song off? Like, dudes. Anyway, so that's why I think that she left at 12:29:53 period. Because if she didn't, we'd be seeing more Coldplay Bluetooth connections after that point. Or at least we'd be seeing some Coldplay playing on his phone at all, because that would be great evidence that she hit him and left him there.
Right. And I just think that to me, it feels like the prosecution in the second trial especially was trying to pay for a prosecution.
Well, they were trying to pay for specific opinions they wanted, which, by the way, is what defendants do all the time.
Right.
The difference is prosecutors are supposed to use the facts, not only things that are favorable to their case. That is, that's the whole idea.
So in the context of this case, as far as Ian Whiffen and Jessica Hyde are concerned, outside of John's phone, for me, if the 227 search can be proven that it happened at 227, that is the end to this case. And we know at least the group of people who had something to do with John O'Keefe's death.
Of course.
Because there's no reason for Jen McCabe to be searching at 227, how long to die in the cold.
That's a novel idea that we've never thought of before.
I'm just repeating it.
I know
for
you
the people in the back.
I just want to say, I don't know if Blair, you were here at the beginning, but we thanked you at the beginning for mentioning us in your show. We really appreciate you sending people to subscribe our way. We are very close to 8,000 subscribers. We really want to get to 10. We really, really want to get to 10. Yes. Can I show you something funny? Oh, keep going.
Yes, you can. Yeah. So Ian Whiffen and Jessica Hyde did not have access to, as far as I understand it, the full extraction. That the FBI
remember
had.
They got the extraction and they said that they had a copy of it with that, what was that hash thing?
Hash value.
The hash value. And it was like, he received it with a printout of what the hash value was on the thing. But he's like, yeah, that just was the hash value I had. And he couldn't,
right.
Guarino couldn't confirm, and neither Whiffen couldn't confirm that it was the original hash value. And the defense contended the hash value had been changed.
Yes.
But that's all very technical. To me, the Coldplay thing really sticks out because it's memorable, because the absence of what would have been damning, like, to me, that's the thing. Like, if his phone kept playing Coldplay, they absolutely would have made note of that, because it would have made it look like Karen killed John, drove away, and Fix You was playing. What a great trial detail that would be for a closing argument. Am I wrong?
No. You were not wrong. And I can't believe that we didn't know about, I feel like they went over some of Jessica Hyde's, report, but I'm surprised, honestly, that Alessi didn't pick this out. This seems like sort of right up his alley. I'd be interested to hear what he thinks of your theory about, like the Coldplay
I'm
theory.
sure that they came up. There's a lot of things that they saw that they decided they didn't need to use, because they just wanted to focus on the fact that the collision was biomechanically impossible, which makes total sense to me. I would have done the same thing if that. I can imagine myself doing the same thing. So there are many funny things. And because I started at the back, I want to show you something that came out at the back, but if my computer wouldn't stop spontaneously going black on me, this would be much easier. Again, For anyone who's out there who might be a millionaire, there are 2 computers on my Amazon wish list. Feel free to buy me one of them.
Montana says, do you think the fact that only Jen testified in 2.0 that it will be said that the House people didn't testify because of harassment in the civil cases? I guess. I mean,
no.
I think
they
that
didn't
one of
testify
the
because
things
they weren't called. That's why they didn't testify,
right,
because they weren't called.
because I think it's hilarious that we keep hearing, we heard it in the McAlbert's interview with Nightline, and we heard Carrie do it in the interview with that lawyer lady, where they were like, well, you know what this is going to do for witnesses in the future? They're not going to want to testify. They're not going to testify. You don't get the fucking choice. You're subpoenaed or you're held in contempt.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're holding Pam Bondi in contempt right now because she didn't show up to testify. Like, if you're subpoenaed, you have to testify.
Yeah.
So the idea that they have any kind of say,
right?
Yeah. So,
right.
but I do think that I do think they'll probably try to use things like that. But I think one of the most interesting things about the civil cases is if a judge determines whether they were like temporarily, what's the word I'm looking for? The public figures.
Well, no, like they're not. They were thrust into the public eye. They didn't step into.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are still public figures for that moment.
That's true. I don't think that matters. Argument. It is, but I don't think it matters nearly as much as whether or not what Karen and Turtle Boy said they knew was not true, because they did think it was true. Turtle Boy has such a strong case for that. I'm sure Karen does too. We've only seen more of Turtle Boy's stuff because he's shared all of his stuff. I want to show you a couple of things that I found that struck me as funny. I have a bunch more. What I'm going to do is clip them and bring up the images. Okay. So do you remember the video you made me watch while I was getting drunk the other night?
Yes, of course I do.
And what was that?
I forget? The McAlbert's interview with Nightline.
And who was the interviewer?
Gutman.
Correct. Okay. This is very funny. This is a tweet sent to the prosecution by that True Crime 717 person. Someone needs to tell me who that is. I don't know who it is. Or this was sent by Portia Pelican was the name on this. And this is a tweet. Matt Gutman, why are you pretending like you don't know my name and painting me as some sort of witness intimidator? Why did you want me to keep it a secret that you, me, Karen Reed, and her defense team had dinner at a steakhouse in Boston on July 3rd, 23rd, 2023, the day after the rolling rally? I told you all about the rolling rally, and you thought it was awesome. You made it pretty clear that you knew Karen was innocent and that you knew the McAlberts were guilty. We even exchanged numbers and met up 2 days later at Karen's hearing. Were you just pretending to get an interview with her? And then this was the note that they wrote with this tweet. The conspiracy is out in the open. This is not justice. This is not justice. With the conspiracy with Matt Gutman from NBC or ABC. Now he's part of the conspiracy, apparently.
It's so interesting too if you think about what happened later, because they did that whole entire segment with Proctor and the McAlberts, and it's just like it's so ridiculous.
That's Aiden. Can somebody tell me who Jill Downey is? Somebody in the comments.
Downey.
The name is very familiar to me, but as you know that name. My personal brand is not knowing who people are.
Wait, I know that name.
There's a reason why True Crime 717 from Twitter would relentlessly email the prosecution's office this was blank@gmail.com. Of course, that's redacted. They sent this to Morrissey on April 1st, 2025. Sorry. Urgent, Aiden Carney, aka Turtle Boy. Good afternoon. Please share this with Hank. Like calling the prosecutor by the first name. Please share this with Hank. You know Hank. I know him. And the prosecution regarding the Karen Reed case. Attached are screenshots of tweets by Aiden Carney, aka Turtle Boy, showing that he is tweeting from the courtroom, making comments about the jurors. I am perplexed as to how he is permitted in the courtroom while facing indictment for harassment and other offenses, because he's in the media and he got on the list. This information could be used to intimidate these individuals. He appears to be attempting to influence the jury with members of the Karen Reed Pink cult. It is crucial that Judge Cannoni is informed and he should be removed from the courtroom immediately. There were, by the way, rules about what they could and couldn't tweet about the jurors live. Sue O'Connell followed those rules as well. You were allowed to tweet about, you're not allowed to tweet any identifying details, but you were allowed to tweet about what you saw without tweeting. A woman who is 34 is looking down at her notebook and making vomit faces. You're not allowed to tweet that. There were rules about that, and he followed those rules. He was very good about those rules. The other thing I wanted to, I'm sorry, I know I'm all over the place, but there are so many
It's
of
okay.
these that are just so good. Have I done the advice from Politan yet? This is a good one.
No.
Okay. Remove. Here's Politan. Gosh, when this works, it works so well. When it doesn't work, it's so annoying. It's just my computer. It's not the thing. And I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Okay. This is the one that I was talking about earlier. From blank@gmail.com. Same fucking person. True Crime 717. Please ensure this message is forwarded to Hank Brennan and the prosecution team. It is essential for them to view and take comprehensive notes on tonight's episode of Closing Arguments with Vinnie Politan on Core TV. By the way, it's essential that they do this. The special guest for this episode was blank, a juror from the initial Karen Reed trial who offered valuable insights and recommendations that could assist the prosecution in their case against Karen Reed. Among his suggestions, it was that guy, right? The guy with the bow tie? It was, yeah.
Mhm.
Among his suggestions were the importance of consulting an expert to clarify how Google search history is retained on the internet, having the Dighton police officer testify about the condition of the taillight when he first observed it at the scene. No, you don't want that, guys. And securing testimony from the tow truck driver who transported the vehicle, as he could provide information regarding any damage to it. I trust this information will be helpful. Can you believe these fucking people?
God, it's obnoxious.
Can
I
you
can't.
imagine?
I mean,
It almost makes me feel sorry for the prosecution and having to deal with all these quacks. I mean, I don't actually feel sorry for them because we're only prosecuting an innocent person. But if anything has made me sorry for them, it would be that. So another thing I want to say, Terry John Muir, who was the producer of Body in the Snow, who I know. I've interviewed her several times. I'm no longer doing the Netflix podcast. It has been canceled. I can say that more publicly now and not be worried about it. We announced it on our podcast, and people who know are supposed to know. She's kind of a rat. Well, first of all, when she first gets the request for all the material from her documentary, she basically says she says that she's protected under the reporter's privilege of California. But then she says, one thing that greatly concerns me about having provided this footage is the fear the footage could somehow become public record and, quote, communicated to the public. I assume that, other than using the courtroom during trial, this footage will not be made available to anyone other than the court and prosecution and defense teams. Can you please reassure me that is the case? You know what else we learned from Terry Dunn Muir? She was asked to provide film footage that showed the defense socializing with their expert witnesses. And that is where Hank Brennan got the ham sandwich from. Because Terry Dunn Muir writes a note and says, you might want to pay attention to this part of the footage as you asked for details of them socializing. You'll see that Dr. Wolf is not present, but Dr. Rentschler is. And this was the ham sandwich scene. That came from Terry Dunn Muir.
So stupid.
Who pointed out to the prosecutors. First of all, they asked her, please flag any instances that you may have remembered where they were doing. She should have been like, I'm not flagging anything for you. I'm sending you my raw footage. You look through it yourself and anything.
Deal with it.
A journalist who was forced to send in their raw tape would not then do the work of the prosecutor and find them what they are looking for and pointing it to them. That is, I think, kind of.
But also, you're a documentary producer, which is you should be independent.
Well, I know she views herself as a journalist because she's told me that several times.
Exactly. Hey, I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
All right, good. I'm going to use this time while she's peeing to look for a couple of other things that I wanted to show, but I'm too afraid to bring up this document because it crashes my computer. Again, if you happen to be a millionaire and you feel like buying me a new computer or two, they are on my Amazon wish list, which I know is obnoxious, but I don't know about you. I don't have a couple grand hanging around. Okay. Let's see. Cookies. I got that. I got that. I got that. There's some tomfoolery around Yannetti Motions, which is great. Jill Downey. So I needed someone to tell me who Jill Downey is. If anyone in the chat knows. Does anyone in the chat know who Jill Downey is? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? I got to find that. There it is. Okay. Flip this. God, I have so much more respect for Aiden right now and how quickly he's able to bring up assets to show everybody. Also, he's a Mac user, so obviously his computer works better than mine. All right. Okay. Jillian Daniels, Julie Albert's sister. Are you saying Jill Daniels? No, it's Jill Downey. It's Jill Downey something at yahoo.com. Her name is Jill Downey. Jill Downey appears to be a resident of Canton. So I was just wondering if, well, I don't know if she's a resident of Canton or not. I think she's just a lucky Lou. A looky Lou. I don't think that she writes for the Globe. Okay, I'm going to show you what this Jill Downey thing says. Roma's sister. Jill Downey was touched by an angel. I use multiple screens as well, my friend, but my computer cannot handle all these things happening at the same time, which is why it goes all nuts. No, that's Jill Daniels, is Julie Albert's sister. Jill Daniel, not Jill Downey. This is a different person, unless she's using a fake name. Let me remove this. Remove from studio. I want to save this one for Mel because I think it's going to blow. I think it's going to make her really mad, and I love it when Mel gets mad. Does anybody have any thoughts about Coldplay while we're here? Any Coldplay fans in the chat? Anybody ever think that a Coldplay song could be the key as to when we know for sure that when Karen Reed drove away from the house was 12/29/53? I didn't have that on my bingo card. I also didn't have it on my bingo card that Coldplay would bust up 2 high-profile marriages, but that's just me. Just so you know, Mel's not back yet. All right, let me find something else that I want to clip while we're waiting for Mel. Oh, I have a good one. It's right here. All right, Mel, I can't wait for you to see this. I see you're back.
I'm here.
Ready for this? So
Yeah.
the audience doesn't know who Jill Downey is, so I just assume it's a looky Lou, okay?
Okay.
Wait till you see this one. Hello. Hold on, let me go back up to the page so I can read it better because I'm blind. Hello, it says. I think this has very important information that was new to me and many of my friends that have been following this case closely. Well, I'm glad you and your friends find it important. In this video toward the end, it shows Lucky's plow truck driving past Fairview Road at the time the first responders were there. He definitely wasn't blocked off from turning down the road, and it was captured on the police video cam, which completely contradicts the timeline that he testified to. In other words, he lied, and there's proof. Can you fucking believe Jill Downey? Can you believe this shit?
What the hell?
I know.
Well, I just am like, I mean, I think here's the thing. Like, we were all doing that kind of shit on the other side too. So I'm sure. I mean, we weren't sending it. I'm sure that people were sending it actually to Alan Jackson.
Oh, there's some free Karen Reed stuff in here for sure.
But I'm just saying, like, everybody was trying to help the defense and the prosecution make their case, you know. And it's like we were all so invested. You were talking earlier about how everyone is like really invested with Kelsey Fitzsimmons. I mean, it's very obvious that everybody was really invested in this case and they wanted to see their side win. And I think that our side is the side of truth and justice, and the other side was, I'm not really sure. What does the other side stand for?
Protecting the McAlberts.
You think?
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I mean,
I'm going to try to share this because I have to scroll this one. It's the only way to show you this one. I'll just try it. If it doesn't work, I apologize in advance. Okay. Window.
Chicago. If you go back to what Rebecca was presenting earlier, all of Jessica's report, it's Coldplay all over it. And it
Coldplay
tells us
until there isn't from John's phone.
There isn't. It tells us when the song came on, when it connected to Bluetooth in the Lexus, when it was on his phone, when it was outside of the car, and it shows when Karen drove off, basically. So
it might show that.
You're so it's all.
I believe it shows that.
It shows that.
Okay. Okay.
Go into, if you want to go into the documents, you can read the report for yourself.
This is one of the shittiest Boston Globe articles that was ever written during their coverage. I went to look and see if any Karen Reed support had secretly flipped. Here's what happened next. Some former Karen Reed superfans secretly think she's guilty and they're afraid. So damaging. Okay. So this is from David Linton, who's obviously an employee because he's Norfolk County. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He wants them to see this article, but not for the article, which, by the way, is an annoying article. He wants them to see it for the comments under the article. They had become members of it. So yeah, they literally are looking for, they are so busy. This is from somebody in Norfolk County. They're so busy with all the facts and data in this case that they are including in their correspondence with each other on February 7th of 2025, all of these comments, because they want to know if there's anything in here that will be of use in their prosecution. Isn't that wild?
Because they're desperate. I mean, they knew, when I go back and I look at, so I was watching the videos that are included, and all the videos are of the day that Karen was arrested when they did the upcharge. So the day that they go to arrest her, and she's wearing like her shorts and no underwear, and she's wearing like, Ugg slippers or whatever, and she's like, can I get some pants? Those are all the videos that are in this new FOIA dump. So I was rewatching all those videos, and especially the part where she's like, we're all in on the same joke, right? John got beat up by Brian and Colin Albert, and my car has a huge dent in it. We're all in the same joke. That was after the tip came in from Scanlon to David Yannetti. And there were already rumors starting around town that that's what happened that night. And so the idea, like, if you go back and you listen to that video when she says that to Yuri Buchanan, there is the biggest pregnant pause after she says that to Yuri. And he's choosing his words very carefully. Like, I would suggest, I would advise you to pay attention to your rights, which is to remain silent. If you want to tell us a story, we're happy to hear your story. But he takes such a long time because, in my opinion, he's going, is that real? Like, should we have investigated that? You can sort of hear in that moment, like, this is on tape now. He knows it's on tape because it's being recorded by the trooper that arrested her, the trooper that, had the arrest vehicle. It's on his body cam. Everything that Karen is saying, I think it's one of the most important things that happens pre-trial, is that she says that, and she says it and is looking at a cop and going, you didn't do a full investigation. And Karen already knows that. And that's the reason why she's like, this tip came in and this is what they're saying happened in the house, and you are not investigating it. And he knows it in the moment. The trooper knows it in the moment. And I think Bev knows it. If you watch, it's in the footnotes. It's one of the first footnotes that we're going to go over. It's when that tape is presented to Bev in court.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, they play just a couple of minutes of it for her, like 30 seconds. And she's like, how long is this video? And they're like, it's like 90 minutes. She's like, well, I need to watch the whole video. But you can also hear in her voice and in the hesitation that she's like, if we play this in court, the whole world is going to hear that on June 9th of 2023 or 2022. I don't remember. Was it 2022 when she was arrested? Yeah. On June 9th of 2022, she was already making this claim. And here we are 2-3 years later now on our second trial. And this was never investigated. Like, everybody knows it. Everyone knows it from the beginning. So the fact that Morrissey puts out the hostage video, they dig their heels in, they do 2 different trials, they spend well over $1 million to try to get her in prison. It all comes back to that moment where she's like, we're all in on the same joke. And now they can't go backwards. And I'm so sick of seeing this. I'm so sick of prosecutors state cases where they just can't admit that they were wrong about something. If they had admitted that they were wrong way back when Karen was saying we're all in the same joke, this would not be happening. We wouldn't be where we are. The McAlberts wouldn't be like trying to defend themselves and saying they didn't have anything to do with this. There would have been an investigation. I was going back and looking at Michael Easter's report as well. and watching a couple of interviews with him. And I just am like, how could she not allow his report in? How could she not allow him to testify?
His report's incredible, and it's all in here, so folks can read it all. It's pretty incredible.
But it shows like what's Bev's motivation there. I mean, I know you don't like to think that she was putting her thumb on the scale for the prosecution, but when things like this happen.
No, I think she was, but I don't think she was doing it to protect the McAlberts. I think she was doing it because she has cognitive decline. That's my opinion. I just wanted to show you this. I talked about this rat thing. This is Laura McLaughlin saying to Ms. Muir, this is Terry Dunn Muir, who made the documentary. Thank you for your prior production of footage. Given the large amount of video and time constraints, we greatly appreciate you producing what you could in a timely manner. In addition to what has been previously produced, could you please produce, to the extent it may exist, any video of Karen Reed, Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, and or Elizabeth Little speaking or socializing with the ARCA witnesses, including Dr. Daniel Wolf and Andrew Rentschler? They basically want footage of the private conversations. So this is what Terry sent back, and this is how why I characterize this as bad. Here's a link to the lunch that Dr. Andrew Rentschler attended after his testimony at the first trial. Dr. Wolf was not present. We shot 2 cameras, and a total running time is 30 minutes. You should watch the entire video and pay close attention to 1339-3707. They got the ham sandwich testimony, the ham sandwich cross-examination from this production where this journalist pointed out, instead of saying, you know what, I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I'm sure you guys can find it if it's important to you.
Yep.
It's awful. It's totally awful. That part made me actually really, really angry. 1411. Okay, want to see the hair down there stuff? I'm sorry. Whenever I think of hair, I think of hair down there, which is like they talked about pubes when I was in school. Okay. 1411. There's so much. We're going to have a whole other episode where I'm going to go through. I have 1 through 1500 that I still need to comb through. And I still have some stuff in here that I'm not going to have time to show you today. The 1411. Okay, here we go. Okay. Where's Hank?
Bev's brother represented Chris Albert when he killed that guy while driving drunk. Bev is 100% compromised and conflicted.
Probably, but it might not be. It might be subconscious. Maybe. It might not be conscious. It might be subconscious. I'm just trying to be measured in how I talk about that. I'm trying to be measured how I speak about a seated judge in.
I get it.
In Massachusetts, I am. I know a lot of people who know and respect and like her. That's why I believe it's something else that isn't necessarily corruption. I think it's decline. That's my opinion. Okay.
I disagree.
Okay. It's okay to disagree. And I disagree too internally. I'm just trying to be careful about how I characterize it with how I talk about it. Okay. From Maureen Hartnett. Would it be possible to discuss the forensic relevance of the body origin of the hair? I just want to reiterate that the deposition of the hair of the vehicle cannot be time-stamped. It may have come directly from the victim or may have been transferred from victim's clothing. The laboratory does not perform body origin determination. We no longer have the physical hair as it was consumed in DNA analysis. I do still have the photos, and it's possible that BODE may have more photos, as I believe they can also examine the shaft and end prior to testing. I can inquire about having those sent to the lab that can perform the type of analysis you're requesting, but I am unsure if that can be done of the photos that we have here. Maureen Hartnett is basically telling them the hair is no good. We can't even tell where it came from.
Yeah.
And they tried to use the hair anyway.
Yeah. And then they tried to say there were 2 hairs, and it was actually a picture. It was a reflection.
Wild. That was like one of my favorite things that happened. That was
I know, it was so amazing. I remember just being like, oh, like while I was watching it live, and then I was like texting you, did you just see what happened?
So good. So good.
Yeah.
There's Jen McCabe prepping for her testimony. I have so many other things I want to go over through. I feel like we're getting lost in the weeds now, but yeah.
It's okay. I want to know everything around how the Mike Lank story came out from Jen McCabe about how she was at his house.
Oh, that's in here. Well,
tell me
what's in here. I can go to that. Actually, I can actually go to that part. Hold on, my computer's blacking out again because it fucking hates me.
You're freezing.
I know. Let's see. I have that actually. Hold on. That's Jen McKay trial prep. I have that. I made my own little index 2368.
I'll never forget the inverted video. Me either.
That
was so crazy.
Moment.
It took me so long to be like, wait, what? Because it was happening in real time. And I just remember being like, what are they saying? Because the craziest part about that was that Yuri was trying to explain it away on the stand. You know?
Yeah. He was like, when you look in the mirror, you also see yourself inverted. What?
Yeah. So
What?
fucking crazy.
Okay, I have the page wrong. Let me see.
I don't think there's been enough scrutiny of Colleen Crawford.
Of course not. Well, Colleen Crawford, I think, was trying to get them on the right track, and they were not listening to her. Hold on. This is my original index, by the way. This is Pen. Jen McCabe. Okay, 2368. That's where I am. Oh, 63. I'm on the wrong page. 6, 7.
Okay, everybody really wants us to watch the Penny McGee hearing trial.
I don't know
because that's okay. So I didn't know what it was. And then it was explained to us the other day. It was a trial that happened in between, maybe after Karen's trial. It was a bench trial in front of Bev.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it was very interesting. And I think that we probably should look into it. It might be an interesting watch.
Now, to be clear, I have been through half of these documents exhaustively, half of these emails exhaustively. I have found many, many, many instances of an anti-Karen Read person writing in with advice or evidence or something they saw on TV or heard in the store or whatever that could be of value to the prosecution. So far, I have found one free Karen Read email, and it is very funny. And I would like you to see it. All right, 7, 8, 9. It's really, let's be clear, it's disrespectful.
Do you want to clarify this, Rebecca? What Denise said?
I thought Colleen was a villain. No, I'm saying that she was okay. It's very clear in here that Colleen was trying to set them straight about what mattered and what didn't matter. And you might remember that during the trial, she wanted to get up and say she had made a mistake when she testified, and Bev Canoni would not let her get up. But it's very clear in this correspondence that there are a couple of instances, especially with the hair instance, where she's trying to say, listen, how it reads to me is, I know you think that the hair is important, but we can't even tell the origin of the hair. We don't know what part of the body it came from, and we don't have it anymore because it could have been transferred from his clothing. I think she's trying to wave them off.
No,
the hair being important.
I think the issue is that I think you said Colleen Crawford said that.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. It was the lab tech lead. Wait.
Hartnett.
No, it was Colleen. Oh, was it Hartnett?
Yeah, it was Hartnett who said that.
Oh, yeah.
Colleen Crawford is the video lady.
You're right. I'm very sorry. I'm very, very sorry. Hartnett. I get the name wrong. I read it wrong. Sorry. I apologize. People are going to see that part of the video and they're going to think I'm an idiot because I got the name wrong. And You're
happened. Not an idiot.
I'm going through these very quickly.
ADHD.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Dear Meatball Morrissey, you, sir, are so screwed. Deleted Sally Port video after inverting it. You support garbage like crusty panties, Lindsay Gaetani, and that deadbeat alleged retired FBI agent Coffin Doofus, and the yellow cottage cheese fool Plevin and good time Julie Carp. You've actually done a hostage video trying to defend yourself and your Keystone Cops of Canton PD and Mass State Police. You have disgraced yourself. And for what? Big bad Brian A? LOL. You have really shit this entire case down your legs. That's my favorite line. There's diarrhea in your socks now, sir. Corrupt troopers, all embarrassment of in your office. The whole world is watching and no one wants you in office. You have disgraced the O'Keefe family. You've tried to frame Karen Read and cover up a murder. We, the people of Norfolk County and your entire world, are outraged. Troopers Bukaki, Proctor, Fanning, Tully, Chico, and yourself are embarrassing yourselves. Everyone hates you. You're an absolute piece of shit. And P.S. Fanning bangs men dressed as women. What? Who cares? No wonder he covered for his deadbeat pedophile friend Farwell. You have failed Sandra Birchmore, Karen Read, Aidan Carney, the Canton Nine, Richard Schiffer, and many, many others. Get ready for federal prison, you corrupt POS. Go clean your socks, Meatball. I have so much more to say, but there's not enough time in the day to show you how to do your job and make fun of you. All panic, no disco. Meatball Morrissey's sketty stain. There's like a lot of this stuff. Who knows? Who knows? Now go look in the mirror and keep repeating to yourself, quack, quack, quack. I am a true piece of shit and I have disgraced John O'Keefe's memory and Karen Read's entire life and family. I can't wait for federal prison. Insert rubber duckies and middle finger emojis here. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, my.
That is the one so far. Free Karen Read thing I have found.
Wow.
Yes. Pretty good, right?
Yeah. 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 This is Carrie says, Colleen Crawford and Fanning owned a security or forensic company together, and Crawford was caught editing video evidence in a murder case. Yes, that was actually the very first episode of the readathon that I did with Rebecca. We were discussing that because it had just come out. And from that moment on, I will always think that Colleen Crawford played a role in adjusting evidence, video evidence in this case.
I don't disagree with that at all.
And then Fanning also had something to do with jury tampering as well.
Clearly, Maureen Hartnett, which, by the way, is a very easy name to confuse with Colleen Crawford, just a couple of Irish gals from Massachusetts. Clearly, Maureen Hartnett is trying to wave them away from this being important because she gets this email with a question whether hair recovered. Are you able, a determination of where on the body the hair came from, head versus arm versus beard. And she's like, yeah, no. That's, nope. Not only can't we, but the hair doesn't exist anymore, folks.
Also, mitochondrial, wasn't it? Was she the one? Was Hartnett the one who testified that it could have been John's or his niece or his nephews?
Yes, okay. Could have been someone in his family. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Let's do one more, and then we have to wrap this, and we're definitely going to come back and do more of this, right?
Yep.
It's so good. It's so good. Ring.
We might want to even.
I've got one.
This into when we do the streams that you were just talking about earlier this morning about like me picking specific things. We might want to bring some of this in and split screen it.
Dude, I just want to get drunk while we watch parts of the trial that you randomly pick. That's all I want to have. That's all I want to have.
Somebody said they want us to start off with Kelly Devers' testimony. So.
I would do that. Hold on. 3406. I know people on the internet have seen this one before, but this is one of those ones that I had to see it for myself to really understand how wild it is.
I wonder if Emily C has done this. Anne said we need a cast list of all the characters for all to refer to. I'm sure that Emily has that somewhere.
By the way, if you decide to look through this correspondence, there's a million pages also that are like, here's the trial schedule for this week. Okay. I love this one. You ready? I know people have seen this before. Trooper Moore. This is from the Commonwealth Fusion Center. Trooper Moore. Please review this Guardian email that CWC received regarding a tip pertaining to the Karen Reed trial. Thank you, Lieutenant Jason Trask. Okay.
I haven't seen this.
This is Eyewitness, this is like their system that takes tips. A girl I recently spent time with, Delaney Minton, who I picked up at 1473 Washington Street, Canton, Mass., told me that the dog involved in the Karen Reed case was dead and buried in her yard. She also said her house had been burned down and she had just recently moved back in. She claimed her uncle was the main Canton police officer involved in the case. I have dash cam recordings, but it appears to have been overwritten. I would be willing to turn in the SD card anonymously if forensic investigators think it's worth looking at. You can contact me at crimetip9@gmail.com.
Crime tip 9. Crime tip. No, why crime tip 9?
That's pretty wild, right? I
want to email crime tip 9. I want to talk to
them. Clearly, they made up an email to submit to this crime tip thing. How funny is that one?
It's funny, but what if it's true?
It's not true. It can't be.
How do you know? You don't know.
This is just stolen valor. Chloe's buried in my yard. Stolen valor. People trying to. Maybe, but it's still funny. And it's like, it's fun. What's funny about it is that it was sent from this very earnest, crime tip person at this department who was like, please, here's a tip regarding the Karen Reed trial. They got this and they were just like, they didn't care. All right. That's all I think I want to do today. I'm going to go through and I'm going to make screenshots of the other things I think are important so that when we stream again and we talk about this again, I cannot have to share this giant PDF and have my computer keep breaking down. But again, feel free to buy me a waffle maker or a computer.
Or a computer.
Only if you're a millionaire, though. Only if it's not going to cause you any financial hardship. But there's so much. But the big takeaway from today is I believe that because of Jessica Hyde's report and when Coldplay finally reverted to John Keith's phone speaker, not the internal thing that connects to Bluetooth, at 12:29:53 is the final mention of this relentless, endless stream of 15 minutes of Coldplay that are mentioned in this time log. Final mention. And in my opinion, that means that is when Karen Reed drove away. Because if there was Coldplay playing afterwards or anything from John O'Keefe's Apple playlist playing afterwards through his speaker, it would be more evidence that she hit him with her car and left him to die on the lawn and that no one else had possession of his phone. That is not what happened because somehow Apple Music stopped playing on his phone and was never mentioned again.
I wonder if Coldplay knows this.
I think Chris Martin will probably talk about it at their next arena show. What do you think?
I think they should. I think Chris Martin should make a statement.
The Coldplay theory. Yep.
The Rebecca Lavoie's Coldplay theory.
We got to do merch.
You are Susan Smith. Is that her name?
Susan Simpson. I'm the Susan Simpson of Coldplay. Yes.
You're the Susan Simpson of the Karen Reed trial.
And for those who disagree with this, I apologize, but you're wrong. You've been looking at the wrong information. Susan Simpson is the one who used phone logs and triangulation data and reports from the late 80s or late 90s to late 80s to definitively figure out that Adnan Syed is innocent of the murder of Heyman Lee. She is a detective. She's solved so many cases. She's freed so many people. Yep. With her investigation into jury misconduct and documents. She's a genius. I used to work with her for a while on the Undisclosed podcast. She now has her own podcast. She doesn't work with that team anymore. And she's a genius. And I felt a little bit like her yesterday when I noticed the absence of Coldplay after 12:29:53 a.m. the morning of John O'Keefe's death.
I don't trust people who think that Adnan Syed is guilty.
It just means they listen to shitty podcasts that give out wrong information. It means they listen to the prosecutors.
I don't trust people.
You can't listen to the prosecutors, man. You just can't. You just can't. They are innocence fraud people through and through. And innocence fraud is bullshit. So,
anyway.
Well,
I appreciate you breaking all this down for me, and I appreciate the work that you did too.
Yes, and I'm so sorry I confused. See, people think that it's Jill Downey, not Jill Daniel. That's Jill Downey on that thing. It's Roma Downey's. It's Roma Downey's sad younger sister. Jill Downey is the one who sent the tip about how horrible.
Not Jill Daniels.
I think it's just Daniel singular. I think
Jill Daniel, like what's his name? The reporter. What did he come out with?
Oh, that's Ted Daniel. Yeah, maybe it is
Ted Daniel.
Yeah, he has a new report.
One last thing. This has nothing to do with Karen Reed or anything else. But did you hear about the I got to pull it up. The cop in Somerville?
Yes. We already, by the way, determined that this was the point of order. But you also know that she was upstairs and did not know what was happening downstairs. So her knowledge of where the baby was actually limited at the moment she pulled the gun. And that wasn't my point. My larger point was that these are two people with access to guns in a volatile relationship situation. And it is completely normal for any judge or any outside person looking at this case to be concerned about the safety of this baby with either parent. And so I think supervised visitation for both of them is actually quite appropriate. That was my point.
I also wanted to address, there was a comment a very long time ago and it kind of like just went past me really quick, but someone was like, can you guys stop with the white guilt about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
no, our stream might not be for you. Just leave it there.
No, because if I think something is happening because it's a white person being out there being white, I'm going to say it.
That's right.
I'm a white person.
It's data. It's not our opinion. It's data that shows that people of color are treated dramatically different by the public and the criminal legal system when it comes to their alleged crimes. Okay.
Okay, wait. No, I just want to talk really briefly.
I just missed too much. Sorry.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Dismiss what?
I think because I dismissed that lady saying that Chloe was buried in her backyard.
Oh, I see. Okay, Somerville, where I used to live for 13 years. Have you guys heard about this cop? Somerville police detective is at the center of a nearly decade-long battle. I'm reading this, by the way, from Boston.com, an article by Molly Farrar on April 28th, 2026. Nearly decade-long battle between the police union, prosecutors, and the city has earned more than $500,000 in leave pay as the city fights to keep him off the force. Dante DiFranzo has earned $535,000 in administrative leave pay since 2017. He was ready for this? This is insane. He was accused of withholding evidence and lying on reports after he deputized a street source who then stabbed someone with a machete in 2015. This guy has made $500,000 sitting on his ass after he was fired in 2018. An arbitration ruling 3 years later ordered him back on the force, but with no back pay. He then won a lawsuit in federal court in 2024 in which he claimed his termination was retaliation after he reported corruption in the department. But the detective has yet to return to work. what is wrong? What is happening? How is that possible?
I don't know.
Thoughts?
I want to know more about the corruption he says he reported, frankly.
I do too. And then it says, I mean, there are quotes in here from the department. Quote, he was not terminated for anything having to do with his reporting corruption. The evidence is overwhelming, end quote, said Leonard Keston, who's representing the city of Somerville as it appeals the federal lawsuit. But I get it. He's a nice guy with a family. He lost 3 years' pay already. I could see why the jury did it, but the arbitration decision boggles my mind, end quote. Prosecutors don't seem to want DeFranco back serving with the department either. The Middlesex County District Attorney's Office initially filed a so-called Brady letter, which discloses to a defense team any potentially exculpatory evidence that could affect a police officer's credibility. What the fuck? Yeah. He was first placed on leave nearly a decade ago when prosecutors found texts between him and one of his street sources, a man named Jonathan Machado. Oh, Machado, who, quote, had a violent... Yes, I know. Who, quote, had a violent criminal history, end quote, according to civil service hearing report from Peter Berry, an attorney hired by the city. DeFranco was investigating a home invasion and breaking and entering case, and a person called Henry was a possible suspect, according to the facts of the civil service, blah, blah, blah. He reached out to Machado, then 20 years old, who said he and DeFranco were searching for this man. Henry Alvarez had allegedly stolen a quarter pound of marijuana from Machado. DeFranco and Machado texted over the course of a few days looking for Alvarez. DeFranco even picked up Machado, and together they searched for him at multiple addresses. At one point, Machado said a man named Raul might be hiding Alvarez, but he didn't know for sure. And then basically Machado went out and like found the guy and stabbed this guy. And I'm like, how is this guy even allowed to be near a gun and a badge? I mean, he hasn't been in over a decade, but he's been getting paid for it.
Yeah, he's like Stephen Root in Office Space in the basement, just continuing to work there, but nobody cares.
Jesus.
Hi, Kevin. Note from Kevin in the other room?
I did. It's because you got an ASMR keyboard.
TC Nerd, I've been reporting on criminal legal system for a really long time. I've written several true crime books. I understand the complication of true crime stats. I'm talking about the treatment of people of color versus white people by the criminal legal system and by the public when it comes to concern about their cases. There's lots of data on that, but we're not going to get into this podcast. But yes, somebody said earlier, which I really appreciated, that we absolutely can disagree on this podcast. That is true. If you disagree with me or Mel, that is completely fine as long as you're respectful about it. We disagree with each other quite often, and we just try to be respectful about it because we like each other very much. And most of you in the audience, I think I like you all very much. And if I say something like a lot of people disagree with my statement about Kelsey, whether or not she knew the baby was in the house, she didn't know what was going on downstairs. The baby had been taken. Yes. She also has guns, and it was a volatile situation, and she pulled one of those guns out. We know that guns and volatility are not dangerous. I mean, she says herself what she was trying to do there. She was she never wanted to harm the baby. Obviously, that's never come into play. Justin has never said that she harmed the baby. If I were a judge or an outside person, and I knew it was a very volatile relationship, and one of the incidents involved the police in a confrontation that led to a criminal case, and there were guns, I think the right thing to do as a judge would be to say, you know what? There should be some supervision for all of these people for a while we figure this all out. That's all I was trying to say. Wasn't trying to incriminate Kelsey Fitzsimmons in any way. I just think it's
interesting because you had brought up earlier that people were becoming a little too obsessed with Kelsey and were acting a little crazy about Kelsey.
They're crazy about her. Yes.
And then we're seeing that in real time.
Yeah. It's
people getting so angry with us.
Everybody relax. This is a person
we're being rational.
And everything that we know about the case comes from personal accounts of what happened. And we have just decided that she is more credible. But a judge was not present in the courtroom for her testimony. A judge only knows there was a thing with a gun and another cop, and there's all sorts of accusations about violence and volatility. And yes, they're just accusations, but there are also guns. And she did ask the question about, are there still guns present? Like that's something you would be concerned about if you were in a family court situation.
And she lied about where the guns were in the house.
My husband is in fact heckling me from the other room because I have this incredibly loud typewriter keyboard, which I love. Because now you all know I'm typing and looking for something instead of just ignoring Mel, which I used to get.
You know that's an ASMR keyboard, right?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, of course. Kelsey's lawyer was great, by the way. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe to our stream. Share it. Please excuse my horrible Colleen Crawford, Maureen Hartnett mistake that I made earlier. Maureen, if you're watching, love you, girl. I really appreciate you trying to set these guys straight. I really do.
She really
By the
tried.
way,
I even think she
this
tried
keyboard
even
comes
in
in
the
many
trial.
colors. I got it on Amazon. It would have been on my
It would
Amazon
drive
wish
me
list,
insane.
except I already have it. No, it's great. It's great.
It would drive me nuts.
It's
the
also
sound
cute.
of it would make me crazy. Like if my own typing would make me crazy.
I like it for this because then people know when I'm looking off in the middle distance and they hear this, they know I'm doing something, that I'm not just being like, you're talking and I'm like, you know. Anyway, I love it. I love it. Love it.
I love you, girl.
Love you so much.
Am so happy we get to do this together, and I'm so happy that it seems like it's successful so far. So
yeah, and then Monday we're streaming twice. We have our morning stream. I'm sure we'll talk about more of this stuff I'm digging up out of these docs and you video stuff, right? And then Monday night, Monday afternoon, we're gonna stream where we're gonna do our AMA/DTF St. Louis conversation. And then Thursday morning, we're gonna stream again, right? No, you're gonna be gone.
Yes, no, we're gonna do. Let me pull up the schedule. Hold on. So we are doing tomorrow at 3 p.m. We're gonna start the footnotes section or our little sessions. Our footnotes.
I gotta put it on my calendar. Let me put it on my calendar.
Monday double AM regular. Something's off stream, and then PM. Are you fucking kidding me? Only AMA DTF, and then I will be in Scotland from Wednesday evening on until the following Wednesday.
So I need to find a guest for Thursday and a guest for the following Monday.
Yes. Keeping in mind that I am also available.
Hey, Will, if you're still here, if you want to come on one of those days, let me know.
Yeah. And then Defense Diaries, Bob and Allie will be on after I get back from Scotland. And you know what we didn't mention? Two things in our housekeeping we forgot to mention. Rebecca and I are also going to be doing the Turtle Boy fundraiser. So we're going to be on the stream for that. That happens on the 17th of May, I believe. And then you were contemplating Turtle Boy is also doing like
put a pin in that.
Oh,
I'm still thinking about it.
Okay.
Put a pin in it.
Okay, but for other people who might want to know, Turtle Boy is doing a charity golf thing.
Okay, so I might sponsor a hole with a podcast. I'm still making a decision.
I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't promising. I was just telling the audience.
Not made of money, I can't even afford a new computer, for fuck's sakes.
I know. And you know what? So this week has been interesting because like Netflix went away for you, and I also lost an editing gig over like budget stuff. So we're both just like fucking hell. Like now we gotta scramble a little bit. But that's why we need to, we need you guys to like the channel and subscribe and do all the things so that we can get this the subscriptions up and keep it moving. But I think we're doing all right.
Yes, we're doing great. Well, we love you guys very much. And Mel, thank you so much for joining me for this all over the place conversation. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, but I'll be more prepared next time.
I think you're more worried about it than you need to be.
I know. I just, I'm used to my other shows that I make are much more polished, and produced than this. And so every time I realize this is live and it's wild and things aren't going right, part of me is like, what would 2020 Rebecca think about this? I would have been horrified, but I don't care. We're letting it loose.
No,
here.
It's a different world. Yeah.
We're making mistakes live and in real time.
Well, we're doing this all in real time. Like we're not, we prepare for it. We do the research. We have the documents ready, but it doesn't always go exactly to plan. And that's totally fine.
And sometimes I care more about a cookie that says free Karen Reed than I care about something actually important. Because that's just freaking funny. It's so funny.
That's so ridiculous. I mean, can you imagine getting that upset about a sugar cookie? Fucking ridiculous. Okay.
FKR,
we love you all. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to become members so you can come join us and watch Rebecca drunk react to the Karen Reed trial. Okay.
That's right. Bye. That's what we're going to do. Bye.